welcome. I don't think anyone's in here yet, but that's okay. Either way, it's still a video. So I'm Travis with the ChaoticCrafterZero. If you don't know who I am, I'm a veteran, I'm a hobbyist, and I'm a a chaos player. So we're talking about 40K here. If you don't know what 40K is, well, I can tell you a little bit about it, but if you do know what 40K is, then you already know what the hobby's about, right? So there's multiple different parts of the hobby that many people don't know about. Oh, WC, there you are. Hey, what's up, what's up? So the hobby side of things, as it's known, is the wargaming side, right? So actually creating minis, building up an army, painting them, putting them on the field and playing against other people. It's quite the thing. There's a lot to that, but there's also like a hobby side such as the lore, right? So books, which I got a couple books right here. You know, so Courage and Honor, Night Lord's Omnibus, we got Chapters Due, we got The Unforgiven. You know, there's a lot that goes into this. These are just some of the books, but as you can see, they're pretty thick, right? There's also another side of it is the gaming aspect of it. So we have the hobby side, which is building it, painting it, and you can display them. So if you want to keep them. Gaming ties into that, but not everybody who games is going to take this as seriously. But then conversely, there's people who take this seriously and don't really game, and that's okay. There's people who can paint miniatures from all various different types of hobbies. You know, like Star Wars could be one, Lord of the Rings could be another one, Battletech is another one, for example, right? So if you like just building and painting miniatures, well, that's what this channel is a little bit about, right? So we do mostly 40K here. That's what I have, that's what I play, that's what I love. So, but there are other universes out to it. And then the next side of the hobby could be the video gaming aspect of it. So there are video games now, mobile games, there's even PC games that have been around for a long time. And then, of course, the big one in the room is Space Marine 2. So if you've never played that before, a lot of gamers that don't really know much about the Warhammer universe may pick that game up because they hear it's fun to play. And then all of a sudden they're like, whoa, what's going on with this universe? Who are these players? Who are the good guys? Who are the bad guys? What's the mission? And they just get enthralled by the world that is 40K, the universe that it is. So, oh, Magnus is in here. What's up, Magnus? He said, hey, brother, I'll be a bit late tonight. Got some people over. Okay, that's fine, man. I appreciate you telling me. Oh, WC, he put in the comments, did you know that tonight is the Space Marine 2 patch 12? I did not know that. That's good. So they're looking to fix it up a little bit. That's awesome. And that's another thing about Space Marine 2 is that they are kind of building it up. They're not just leaving it out there and just letting it dry. They are coming up with like expansions, an additional level, for example. A lot of more unlocks with the PvP, like player versus player. There's a lot to that game that I don't really know because I've never played it. I have played other Warhammer games, but never really got into it. I love the lore though. That's how I got started. So I got started just reading books. My first book ever I read was the Ultramarines Omnibus, and that thing was like this thick. And I read every single page and I loved it. So like that's how you can tell that you got a good universe, and there's great authors in it too. There's so many. Aaron Dembski Bowden, Gav Thorpe is another one, Graham McNeil, who I love Graham McNeil, by the way, great author. There's a bunch of others too. And there's various factions within the Warhammer universe. Like if you don't want to play as humans, well, you can play as orcs, you know? So they're like, there's so much that goes into it. I wish I could discuss it all, but you could also play as the Tyranids. So if you think of like last night, I watched Dropship Troopers. Love that movie from the 90s, man. But the book that it was originally based on, I think it was in the 1950s, is a phenomenal book as well. And it is different from the movie, if you didn't know. It's actually, there's like battle suits, and the technology is better, and it's a lot more grim dark than in the Starship Troopers as we know it. So called the dropship troopers, starship troopers. So, but what it is they're just dropping in, and a lot of people love that part of sci-fi, and I love sci-fi. I love war in the future because they have futuristic weapons, right? And there's just so much to this hobby that there's so much to share, but I like just building it, and I like the lore aspect of it, and then playing is something I'm still working on, okay? And I don't play the video games because I don't really have time for that, right? So you can't do everything unless if you have no life. But I guess this is your life, right? For me, it's just a hobby. So if you've never been here before, welcome. If you've been here many times, welcome back. You know, I have some great people. Tonight I'm gonna be building this. So this is a Rhino. It's a Chaos Rhino in particular, but this is from the Horus Heresy, which is not 40K. This is actually pre-40K, but you can still play it now. It's just a different part of the timeline. And there's so much more that you can learn about that whole timeline and playing this game, which is a different version rather than 40K. It's a little bit different gaming, but they have different models. And the cool thing is that this one right here works just as well in 40K, because the 40K one looks like a block of cheese. It could be so much better, you know, but either way, I know a lot of people who are in the hobby, or I've watched people who are in the hobby, and what they do is they say, just go ahead and buy this, because at least this looks better. It's got new sprue, and by the end of it, you're going to be really happy with how it looks compared to just the standard Rhino. I picked this up off Amazon just because it's kind of hard to find at local stores. Not every store has it, right? So I did get it for a pretty good deal. I think I got it for like $65, $70, which is pretty darn good. I have opened it up. I did look inside. I checked the sprue and all that. Everything seems to be in good order, but I could tell it's a little complex, right? So I've built a lot of guys. I've been doing that for a while, but I thought I would go on a new endeavor, and I thought I would try my hand at building a little tank, right? So a Rhino is a transportation vehicle. That's what it's supposed to be in game. So this can transport Space Marines, for example. And I think if I grab my codex, I can look up how many. I think it can take 2 obliterators, which are like really big hunks of meat, and they got metal and machine guns, and they're fucking badass in the lore. You could tabletop them, and there's talks about them maybe redoing them or giving them better stats and better sprue. So they're a little old. I think they're a little dated. I think they're a little small too. And they're not the equivalent to a Dreadnought, but we have a Hellbrute for Chaos. So you cannot do this with everything. So Horus Heresy, you can't take every model and field it in 40K. There are some rules with tournaments. So just something to be cognizant of. But I'm building this. This is fine. This transfers over very well into 40K. So it's not a big deal. I just don't like the current one. Well, the one that's like 20 years old that is supposed to be used in 40K. It's too tiny. So, and then WC is in the comments. Let me read some of his great comments. Thank you, sir. He said the Tech Marine class drops tonight. Oh, that's awesome. That is great news. What time? And then he said Horus Heresy is 40K, but it's actually all Space Marines. So there you go. There is Astra Militarum, of course, but they're like a tiny, like they're still a faction. You can still have everything, but yeah, Horus Heresy is more Space Marines focused, which is correct. And they have some great models there, and I think they get a lot of love, which is nice. And 40K is basically the bread and butter of Games Workshop, but they also have Age of Sigmar, which is more like medieval fantasy. So if you like dragons, if you like, they have the Skaven, which are awesome. They're like these mutant rats, but they're big, and they come from like another dimension, and they are like a plague on the world. So imagine the bubonic plague, but if the rats were like big as fuck and had machine guns and like plasma blasters. They're crazy. They're really cool, and they have all because they're fun. The Skaven are fun. They're like little goblins, but they're not, right? So they're like high-tech goblins. So AOS is a lot of like steampunk kind of inspired. There's dwarves in that too. So if you like dwarves, there's chaos dwarves. There's also like the for good dwarves. And then there's the humans, right? So, and there's the elves, but they're basically the Eldar. Just 40K is a different version of that. So, and then WC also said the Hellbrute is tiny right now. I did not know that. He said it's tiny, tiny. Oh, he said it needs a new model. Yeah, probably. I think there is a Primaris Dreadnought. I hear that it's hard to get. I don't know if that's true anymore because of Amazon. And eBay too. Like if you need to source them, you also have your local hobby store. They can sometimes order it in. They say they get it within 2 weeks. It's hard to say, right? But I just go for price and I go for availability. And if I have Amazon, I trust it and it's got a great return policy. So, or if it shows up busted up, you know, they're going to give you your money back. So as much as Amazon does get a lot of hate in the community, for some things it kind of makes sense, right? But a lot of my stuff I have was gifted to me, or I purchased it either from a store, like a local game store. It wasn't even like a Warhammer shop. I just went in and bought them because they were on a good deal, and then I got them secondhand. So a lot of people who were on Facebook, for example, on Facebook Marketplace, you go on there, sometimes you'll find people selling stuff because they just never got around to it. And you can get it for 50% the price, and it's a great deal. So I bought a bunch of chaos stuff from one guy for, you know, pennies on the dollar compared to what it would normally be. And I still have them, right? They're in great condition. Still in the wrapper when I got them. I was like, oh shit. He's like, yeah, I just never got around to it, but you can have it for $30. And I'm like, normally this is like $80. So, you know, just be careful with dupes. So if you're going to go online, if you're going to go on eBay, all these sketchy kind of websites or Temu, just be cognizant that it might not be as high of quality. And there's even talks of some scammers, they get the box, they recreate it, and then they put fake sprue in it and sell it for a better price. So that's not allowed, by the way. So if you ever see that, you should report it because it's illegal. But if you own your own 3D printer at home and you actually know how to use the software, you're gonna learn, or you're gonna get better at it. Like, power to you as well. I'm just, for me, I want to buy something that's reputable. I know it's the real deal, and my money's gonna go where it should go. And if I can get a really good deal on it, then I really want it. So yeah, that's good to know about the Hellbrute. I don't own it, but I have heard that it actually is pretty good on the tabletop. So it's not nerfed right now. I've heard good things about it being a good unit to have in your army. And then Magnus said, yeah, the Hellbrute does need a new model, so he's on board with that. It is pretty old, and I'm pretty sure it's monopose, so that means there's like multi-pose and then there's monopose. Monopose meaning there's only one way it can stand, it's certain stance, or it has like certain weapons, or like you can't do too much with it, you can't swap out the components as much. There are people that do, of course. I'm not gonna say anything about like you can't kit bash, just make sure you do it to where if you brought them to a tournament, if you're ever gonna play, or if you do play, just make sure that at least it's codex compliant, or you can swap it out with magnets, you know what I mean? So if you're gonna field your army, you don't want to be one of those guys that's like called out for being a cheater and you're like, well, no, that wasn't my intention at all, you know? Or you want to future proof it, like a tank, for example, right? Like a Rhino, you want to magnetize it, because let's say you might want to swap out the war gear, or maybe they get rid of that war gear altogether with the new edition, a new codex. I hope that doesn't happen. But just having the ability to like swap out like a flamer instead of like a heavy bolter, for example, it might make sense, because flamers in the game, they don't worry about cover, they go through cover. So long as it's within range, it ignores cover, which is pretty badass. Makes sense, right? But yeah, there's just a lot of things to the game that don't make it very simple, but it is possible to learn and it is possible to play. And when it comes to building these things, like, brother, it can be very complex. So, you know, if you're gonna build something, start easy and work your way up, okay? Some people just want to jump right in and do the big sexy stuff. Well, it's gonna suck when you're beating your head against the freaking ground, because sometimes these are misprinted. Sometimes they're not correct. So just keep that in mind whenever you're using this manual. This is a good user guide on how to build it, but it might not be 100%. So that's for anybody who's getting into the hobby, just something to be wary of. I've come across it. I know WC's come across it. Hey, Reneville, what's up, man? Hey, good to see ya. Thank you. Magna said there's a Redemptor Dreadnought. That's pretty cool. My friend tried it to get it, and we had to go about half a dozen stores to find it. Yeah, exactly. See what I'm saying? So it's hard to find those certain Dreadnoughts. So yeah, I'm guessing it's the Redemptor Dreadnought. That is Primaris, so it's a little bit bigger of a scale, new sprue. I'm sure there's a lot of different poses with it and different like war gear options you can have with it. I'm not 100%. I own one Dreadnought, and he's in a box all the way at the bottom of this thing. And eventually, I want to paint him up, but he's just there. I haven't even opened it yet, so I might even resell it just to get the money. Reneville said that's how I got Thousand Suns Combat Patrol for $70. See, what a great deal, smart man. Yeah, normally like those combat patrols can be, I mean, shoot, $150, 170, you know, like when I got mine, it was 150. I considered that to be fair. So it wasn't like an amazing price, but I was like, you know, that's fair for what it is. They're not charging more, because if you go online, sometimes it's more, or you have to pay shipping, or sometimes they get you is like, it's $130, but shipping's like $25. And you're like, wait a second. If you didn't know this on the other end of the business, you can pocket that shipping money. So, and then they ship it out for $10. Yeah, I'm an eBay seller, so I know how that works. Okay, that's definitely a thing, and it's just called profit margins. You know, they're just padding their wallets. They're trying to stay in business, but it's hard to outcompete with Amazon. And now that a lot of 40K and Age of Sigmar and all these deals, these brand deals that Games Workshop is making, it's a great time to get into it. It really is. There's so much to the hobby. There's all the different hobbies like I talked about. You know, we have the lore, we have the building and painting, we have the gaming from like a tabletop, and then we have like online gaming or mobile gaming, right? So there's like 4 different parts. I mean, there could even be 5 if you like taking pictures of them and you're like a YouTuber, for example, and you just go around and you talk about it, or you're like a journalist and you write on it. Maybe you're keeping up with the meta. I guess you could say that's a 5th one, because the meta is a whole nother thing. I don't talk about that here on this channel. So if you're here trying to listen to me talk about the meta, that's not really my wheelhouse. I like to play for fun, but I like to build badass shit and paint it up and show it off a little bit, and then interact with my fans, such as my awesome subscribers here, and show off what they've done. So we have a lot of good stuff coming tonight. There's no way I'm going to finish this whole thing in one go. Okay, this is really complicated. It's not mega complicated, but like this takes time, especially if you're going to do it right. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of little intricate pieces that come into making a Rhino. But this is something that, I mean, look at this one. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more. This is all your war gear options. That's what you want to magnetize, for example. Or have a way to magnetize it. Like put it on the turret. Like maybe you could buy the turret separately and magnetize it on there, and you could just swap turret heads. So that's one way to do it. Awesome. Hey, Congos Cosplay. Gosh, I'm sorry I screwed up your name. What's up, man? Welcome, welcome. Hey, we got some great people in here. We got 9 people in here. Thumbs up, please. That helps me a lot. If you're watching this and you're not familiar with my channel, please subscribe. I'm looking to get to 500 subscribers. Please and thank you. And when I get to 500, I will be doing a big giveaway. So, if you didn't know, this is something fun too. Yeah. Let me get these. Where are they? Where are they? Here they are. So I'm giving away books to people on Discord. So if you're not part of the Discord, you can join the Discord and you might get a free book. Okay, so I have books that have been sitting on my shelf, ones that I never got around to reading, or maybe I got gifted them. I'm just doing the same thing. So like this one's going to Magnus, right? So this is a very readable book. It's the Blood Ravens, their entire omnibus. Yeah, it's a little scuffed up, but it's still good to read. So if you like a really good book, like, there you go. All right, so I'm doing this for my subscribers because I'm just like, you guys have been awesome and you've done so much for me. And I just want to thank you in my own way. This one's going to Neo, right? So he asked for this book. I had a couple books laid out, and I'm like, hey, who wants a book? I just want to give you one, and I'm going to send it to you, okay? Nothing nefarious. It's just a friendly gift, okay? So all you got to do, if you haven't already, in Discord, please message me just your address. That way I can ship it to you. I'll print off the shipping label and you'll have it, okay? I want to send it off by Monday. And I have one going to WC, right? I have it already printed up and it's ready to go because he gave me his address. Where is it? Oh, yeah. I'm not going to show off the addresses, but like, here you go. This is going to WC. So his is ready to go. It's just I didn't get to drop it off today, but Monday I'm going to do it. So he's going to get his book in the mail. How cool is that, right? So I got other books, by the way. Ooh. I got other books I might give away. So, and some that I still want to hold on to. I don't want to get rid of them because I love the books. So like, for example, Storm of Iron by Graham McNeil is probably one of my favorite Chaos books. This book is fucking awesome. I love this book. It is a crazy book. If you've ever read this book, tell me down below what you thought about it. Because this is a great fucking book. I want to keep this book forever. Yeah, a giveaway, that's right. Yep, it is a thick book. Yep. Aim for 1,000, man. If I can get 1,000 subscribers, I would love that. Maybe I'll do another giveaway by then. I'll probably send you a painted model, you know? I'm like, hey, who's your favorite faction? And you're like this, and I'll paint like a fucking squad box and send it to you. You know what I mean? So, like, that's if I hit 1,000. Like, that's a lot, and I would love that.
Piece by Maddie.
And a signed piece by Maddie. So, yeah, but I like recycling books. If I'm not gonna, like this, I'm keeping forever. I'm never getting rid of this book. This is gonna go with me until it falls apart. I love this book. I got this gifted to me by my buddy and I read it and I was like, dude, this book is fucking crazy. And he's like, I know, right? It made me love the Iron Warriors so much more. I'm a big fan of them, and when they start dropping new models, because there's a lot of hints that Games Workshop is about to start creating these bad boys, and maybe there's talks of them bringing back Demon Perturabo. So if they bring back Perturabo as a prince, a demon prince, we'll see, right? There's still some lore that's like, is he a demon prince? Did he become an obliterator? I would like to see both, but Vashtor, the Archifane, is also another one working with the Dark Mechanicum, and they're also working with Chaos and specifically Iron Warriors to give them machines to go up against their enemies. So they're just a badass fucking legion. And this is a great book if you've never read it, but I got other books that I will be giving away. So if you're on Discord, I might be doing another giveaway soon. So I'm not going to get maybe a cross stitch. Maddie knows how to make some fun stuff. Yep. So she can make, let me show you right here. So maybe another giveaway one of these days would be something like this. My wife made this. So maybe we can make you a little something, like maybe your favorite faction and like your name, you know, and like something cool.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky, right? But like, that's another thing I want to do down the road is like, I want to give away things to people that I appreciate, you know, and like, I'm a part of a lot of channels that do the same thing, but maybe they can't give it away to everybody. So, but if I can do something for y'all, hell, I might even send you stickers and a bookmark I'll make, because I will be doing little merch stuff, but nothing I'm selling for like big money.
I can make a cross-stitch bookmark.
You could make a cross-stitch bookmark, yeah. So, but we're just hobbyists here. So she has hobbies. She crochets. She does cross-stitch. She does needlepoint. And she's doing her nails right now, so she can do her own nails. So she's also an artist. As for myself, I don't have a whole lot of hobbies that I'm very good at. But I feel like I'm pretty good at this. So this is my wheelhouse. That's why I created a channel, right? and to meet other people in the same space as me. And online is just a great way to do it. Congos Cosplay said, yes, I love recycling books. I go to my local library and get old discard books there. Oh, there you go. Yep. And then maybe you probably give it back to them, or maybe you hold on to them. Who knows? Reneville said, still working on the Caiaphas Cain book. Yeah, I got the omnibus for that. Caiaphas Cain, hero of the Imperium. And then Congos Cosplay said, well, good night, guys. I got to go learn that song. Oh, good night. He'll be back. He's joking. WC said, sorry, I'm back. WC said, good night. And then Reneville said, it's all about two things, taking time and passion for it. That's simple as that, man. If you like doing what you like doing, it's just having the time and then being able to actually do it. And if you love it, it's even better. So this is one hobby that I like, and I'm glad I get to share it with the world a little bit. And I've had people even ask me, like, genuinely curious, like, oh, what do you do in your free time? And you know, it's kind of a guilty pleasure. So you know, if I'm like, oh, I make little terrain models and I make little army guys, and they're like, oh, that's interesting, you know. And of course, if I start telling them what I actually do, they might look at me like I'm crazy, or they might look at me like, wow, that's actually incredible. So it could be one of the two. Most people have no idea what the hell this stuff is, but most guys, I feel like most guys you talk to, they're going to hear about it or know about it. But most adults probably have no idea what the hell this is. Adults meaning like 50 and up. Like her parents, for example. Like my parents are like 60, 70 years old. They're not going to know what the fuck this shit is. Yeah, they're like 100. They know what Legos are, you know. If you're like, oh, it's like Legos, but more complicated. They're like, oh, you're like, it's a 3D puzzle. Maybe that's a good way to tell them. You know, I build 3D model soldiers. So, anyway, let's look at this manual. I'm going to start clipping things out.
Travis said he's gonna give me $1 million.
I'm not going to give you $1 million.
That's true.
Maybe I'll give you $1 million. Maybe. Alright, so according to this, I need B4 and B2, and they look chunky, so I'm going to guess, yep, they're on this sprue right here. So B1, B2, always identify it and clip them bad boys out. So I see B4 and then B2. Let's go. You are excused. Come on, where are you? Here it is too. So this is a big piece. This is the hole or the side. Oh no, actually this looks like the doorway to the actual Rhino here. So I might be doing one of the entrances. This could be the hole though, maybe the side of it, because the Space Marines, they get out of it in 3 different ways. If you didn't know. And always be careful where you're cutting, because you don't want to cut the wrong piece and then you're like, fuck. And even if you do, it's okay, you can glue it back on, so not a big deal. So I just got my trusty little snips here. I do have an extra pair in case if these ever go, you know, they're not as sharp, they go dull. But these are meant for jewelry. So I got these are technically for cutting metal. But the way I see it, I'm like, dude, if it can cut metal, it can cut this too. And obviously it can. And they're precision snips. So you don't want to use scissors when you're doing this, because that's not, don't do that. If you've ever used scissors to cut out sprue, please raise your hand. I would like to be like, how did you do that? And I'm sorry you had to go through that, but like, did it work out? Like, I would, maybe if it was teenage me, I would try doing it with like a knife or something, because I'm stupid, and then cut my hand open, knowing me. So, but, all right, so I got B2 out, and then we need B4. B4, shut the door. Where are you at, Holmes? Let's see here. Yep, here it is, 4. So it's this big hole right here. This big other component that goes to that side. So, I mean, I could obviously look at the pictures and just be like, oh yeah, it's this, but It's also good to use your eyes and to double check to make sure you're snipping out the right part. So even if you think it's super obvious, hey man, I've made mistakes, especially if you're building an entire army and you clip out the wrong part and then you glue it to his arm and he's like this and you're like, wait a second. So patience is key. Attention to detail helps a lot. But just going by the manual and then just using your brain at the same time, you know. So all right, so yes, use your brain, honey. All right, now I need C2 because it's going to go in between the two. So it looks like circular, like a little porthole. So if I look at this, I don't see it anywhere on this sprue, so it's not here. That's for, so this one's all for turrets. This one makes sense. See, sometimes GW does it right, and they put all the same stuff, like on the same, see what I'm saying? So, there you go. Oh my god, WC. Oh, and then back to Magnus. Yes, I will ship it to Canada. I have no problem, man. For you, absolutely. Yes, sir.
For Magnus Mag?
For Magnus Mags, babe, yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely worth every penny, my man. I will absolutely ship it to you, and I'll try to get it to you as quickly as possible. So please just direct message me, DM me on my Discord if you're not a part of the server. There is, I think...
Magnus Mag is one of your people on Discord.
He is, yeah, he's a friend of mine. Yep.
So of course he can DM
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying other people if they're not aware of it. So if you're not a part of the Discord server, I did do a book giveaway. I have one left. I think this is... I have book 3. The Unforgiven by Gav Thorpe, okay? So there's Ravenwing by Gav Thorpe. There's Master of Sancticity, which that's already going to Neo, so he got dibs on that. But I have this book right here, still in great condition, ready to go. Just go on to my Discord. If you don't have the link, ask for the link. I think Magnus will be able to provide it. I'm still working on my laptop, but I am able to edit videos again. So thank God I'm able to edit freaking videos, because that put a huge monkey wrench in a lot of my plans. So starting the new year off with a bang. So, all right. All right, so I'm going to put this sprue to the side, and let me get that little circular one, and let me check up on these comments here. WC said, I knew someone who used to use nail clippers to cut out sprue. Oh my god. I could totally see that. That's like, what the fuck, dude? Like nail clippers. Yeah, I would pause for that and go, my brother, can I help you? Holy shit. These don't cost that much. I think these ones are a little bit more expensive because these are for jewelry. I think these were $17. But you can go to a local hobby store, or if you look online, look up for Precision. I like the angled ones personally. I don't like them straight and flat, just because I have to like get in at different angles and make sure you have a really good flat side, and these things are sharp. So, but like little wire snips, you can use wire snips too. But just make sure that, you know, it's going to work for the sprue. And like a nail clipper, yeah, that's one I've never heard of before. Like, what the fuck? And then Reneville said, when I built Gundams as a kid, I used to use my fingers to push and twist them out, and it hurt a lot. Oh, no. Yeah, that sucks, dude. Oh, no. like pushing these out would suck so bad, especially as a kid. Or like trying to twist them out because maybe your parents didn't give you scissors or you didn't really know about it. Because at least in this, it does say that you should have some snips. So, you know, it's very basic. But like at the same time, not everybody knows that, right? So everybody's on a different level, but that's what we're here to do. We're all here to learn from each other, and hey, it's okay to make mistakes because we all make mistakes. All right, so this is C2. I confirmed it, so I'm just going to go ahead and clip this bad boy out. There we go. I'm really excited to get this thing going. The only thing I'm fearing is the tank treads. That's the one thing I'm not looking forward to, is doing the freaking tank treads, because they look intimidating and very intricate. So that's something I'm not looking forward to. So, all right, so I got that done. And it says here it's push to fit, but I am going to clean up the mold lines before I push them together. So let me go ahead and get that going here. So whenever I have these pieces out, I'm just going to take this box and move it to the side because I don't want to like mess up anything or lose anything or like have it in the way. So I'm going to keep my shears here. I'm going to put the rest of this away. So, but it's like right here by my feet. There we go. Show us the tank treads? Yeah, I'll show you that. WC said it was the entire Leviathan box set and they used nail clippers. Oh my God. That's a lot. Oh my, they were never like, yeah, maybe I should get better ones for this. Like, oh yeah, maybe I should upgrade to the toenail clippers. Maybe that'll help me better. Damn. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Yep. And then Reneville said, talking about his Gundam, his Gunpla, and he was putting it together using his hands as a kid. He said Bandai used hard plastic way before the internet took over our lives. Oh, shit. Okay, gotcha. Let me show you the tank treads, though. Yeah, these things, I don't know, it kind of freaks me out, not gonna lie. Maybe it's not that bad to you, but... So here they are like this. Here's a couple tank treads, more tank treads right there. But when I was looking at this, it's like you have to kind of like hold them in place when you do it. So it's kind of... Yeah, so we start getting to the treads. Yeah, right here. So you got the whole thing, you line it up, you put it on there, but then you have like these little parts, then you start going over the top. Eventually with the tank treads, eventually I thought. Or do they just stop right there? Hold on. Maybe I'm freaking out thinking it's too much than it really is. Maybe it's not that bad. Let me see. Oh, they only go on the bottom? Oh, okay. Well, that's not too bad then. All right. I was freaking out thinking, I thought you had to like link them in between so it could actually like, it goes all the way, but okay. All right. Never mind. I'm freaking out for no reason then. It ain't that bad. Yeah. And then Reneville said, looks the same as the Lehman Russ. Okay. I haven't built the Lehman Russ. Good to go. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning these off. So this sprue part does not need to be in there. It's not necessary. It's supposed to be just like an entryway thing or some sort of a door component. Not too sure. Let me just check these real quick. I always look for mold lines too. So like there's different, see this line that kind of goes all the way along here? It's kind of pronounced. Well, when you go to spray it, you might notice it. So that's something I could probably shave down on. If not, this is another place that you can do battle scarring. So if you want to do battle scarring, like let's say you have some mold lines, I mean, you can just scrape it, and even if it looks bad, like you can just use that, you know, as a, some people paint the battle scarring on there. Yes, I could do that too. Which I do that, or like rust, for example, things like that. But like if you want to draw like bullet holes into the side of it, like there's an idea for you if you want to do it before you build it all together. So there's just always good to look over your pieces, see what's going on. So I can see that there's mold lines, see these little bottom things, these little white, let me use a little right here. So there's like a mold line, like these right here, like little mold lines. So I like to shave those off, but not too much, or else you're going to kind of ruin the shape of it. So I just use my little X-Acto tool here. I'm just going to scrape it off. That way the it's like a little tree knot kind of, you know what I'm saying? So, but I'll just use this to kind of scrape it and just kind of clean it up. Even though the tank tread's going to sit on it, I don't know, it's just me, man. Maybe I'm like overkill about it, but I just want to make sure that when it fits, it like sits on there snugly. It's not going to look like you can see it. If you can see the mold lines on your minis, like everybody's different, right? But for me, I don't like that. I don't like to see mold lines on my minis. That's just me as an artist, I guess. I'm a little picky about it, so. It's hard to go for perfection, but you can get pretty damn close to it. WC said, okay, just did a test using my gray and whites to base coat a silver area with very rudimentary highlights, then put on a metallic. Interesting. And he said it changed nothing when compared to a normal base coat. Good to know. Interesting. So you used gray and white. Because I prime everything in black, but you can do a Zenital prime, like I have done that before. Or if they're like human faces, I usually do those in a gray. Like a human face, like if it's an you know, or if it's just flesh. Normally I just paint that kind of like I base it in like a gray, and then I can layer on, and because if you do it all black, it takes a lot more coats, and the more coats you put on your mini, especially if you're doing it unevenly, it's going to start to show. And then your quality kind of suffers there just a little bit. You know, if you're really picky about it like I am, I try to max out at 3 coats, and that's it. And that's including with a layer. So like, you know, one thin coat of base, another thin coat of base, a layer, and then after that I'll do any like weathering, for example. So like weathering is an additional layer, and then last is when I use my varnish. Just to coat it and to make sure it lasts for a long time, because you want to protect your minis, right? If you're going to be using them to play on the tabletop, we're talking years of, you know, fingers, right? It's going to happen. Or if they're exposed to like the sun, if they don't have protection on it, they might start to like, the colors might start to fade from UV light exposure, for example. So it's just little stuff you can do now to protect your minis once you paint them, but there's different types of varnishes. So there's matte, there's gloss, and then there's semi-gloss, right? I usually use like a semi-gloss, so it's kind of like an in-between for most things. If it's terrain, or if it's like a skull, anything that's dry, like let's say wood, I'm gonna use a matte varnish on it. So, and sometimes matte just looks better, but I don't do any high shine. Semi-gloss, I use that for like power armor or like vehicle armor, because it's metallic, right? So it's going to have a little bit of a gleam to it. And if you're painting with any metallics, I just think using a semi-gloss varnish is a good idea to protect those minis, and you still keep some of that effect that you want it to have, which is a metallic effect. So I have seen if you varnish them with a matte, sometimes it dulls out those metallics, and they don't look as good. They look too 2D in a way. So it can matter. So just some little tips and tricks, and you'll learn your own method. My method is not always like the best one. Someone might be like, yeah, dude, I only use 1 coat, then I layer it, then I weather it, then I don't varnish it. Everyone's going to be different, but that's just how I do it. That's my little algorithm. And you know, to each their own, right? Like what do you guys do in the chat? If you wouldn't mind telling me, what do you do whenever you're building a mini? Do you have a process that you stick to every single time, or are you like, it depends on the mini? Like I do it the same way for every mini personally. So the only exception is if I'm not trying and I just don't care and I just want to paint a mini real quick. I have one over there that I just painted for the hell of it. So I'll show you guys. This is a Lord of the Rings one, but I got this at CastleCon, right? So I painted him with like a venom sword with a little bit of the glowing effects. I think it looks really fucking cool. So, but that's all I basically did. I painted him really quick, but I just wanted it to like look like it was glowing. So that's an example right there of like, I didn't need to edge highlight and like do all this crazy shit. I just wanted a really cool mini really fast. And I use a dark gray to base him, and I think it looks really good under the light because you could see all the folds of his like, you know, gown and everything. So there you go. There's an example of, you know, or if you're painting terrain in general, like, dude, you can make this shit as complicated as you want, but if you're painting terrain, like, it can take a really fucking long time. So like, this is very simple, right? I'm going to do a little bit more to this, but like, this is usable. At least you can't really see any of the original resin colors. It is black. I know it's kind of hard to tell, but like this is painted up basically enough. Maybe I'm missing some on these corners right here, but like if you want to paint terrain, you don't have to go balls hard to paint freaking terrain, because it's just going to be something that you put on a table and you're going to utilize it. Or if you want it in a diorama, people are more focused on the minis, unless if you're doing diorama only, no minis, just like a scene, that's different. But like when I'm painting terrain, like I'm not really going into mega super detail because it's just a terrain piece. That's just me. I'd rather put more time into my minis, and especially my like up front, like the standout minis. So like for Abaddon, for example, I'm taking a lot more time to do him justice because I want him to look good, right? So if you're on the Discord, you know that I've been working on him. Here he is in all of his fucking glory. He's almost done. So, but I just got to work on his sword. I still got to figure out what I'm going to do for his sword. But, you know, Abaddon, I'm pretty proud of him. Of course, he looks a lot better in person, but for what he is so far, like, I'm really happy with him. He's got, like, a glow behind the hood, too, so I put a little bit of the green glow behind there. So I sub-assembled him entirely. I painted everything in sub-assemblies. Everything. So, and then I put him together. I'm just still working on a sword because I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I might just do what they do on the cover because I was trying something else and it wasn't really working out. So, and I don't want to experiment too much on my warlord because he's the main guy of the army. So I might practice on some other guy and then see if I could do the same on him. So, and then back to the chat. Yeah, Reneville said you can start to cake it on. That's right, exactly. When you start caking on with those paints, especially like if you're using a bad paintbrush, you know, and it's like you're not using the right one for the job, or it's like pooling up in certain places, it's going to look really bad over time because you're adding layers to everything, and it's going to take away that detail that you want. These minis are very detailed nowadays, so like what you can get from Games Workshop today is like night and day difference from how it used to be even 10 years ago. So there are some minis that still look good after 10 years, but the majority of them are very simple. There's not a whole lot that they put into it. But now there's so much detail, it makes it so much better. San Mateo Games, hey, welcome, man. If you wouldn't mind thumbs upping and subscribing, please. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. San Mateo said dark purple is great for a base for human flesh, adds shade and depth. Interesting, I've never thought of that. What purple color would you recommend then? And then San Mateo Games said, I always gloss varnish everything because that's the best protection. It's thicker and harder. Once that's cured, then apply the finish varnish, such as matte. Interesting. See? So there's a different way to do it right there. I think that would make sense. So if you want to do gloss, and then you go over it again with like a matte, maybe that subdues it a little bit. Yeah, I varnish everything, minus terrain. I have not varnished terrain. I'll probably just get a rattle can and just spray it. You know, I'm not going to be there with the freaking, like this will take forever to try to do terrain with. You want it fast, airbrushes and rattle cans on terrain. And then if you want to like detail it, then yes, you can grab your brushes and detail it, like skulls, for example, or like little like picked feeds if you want to do like little stuff like that, or like a Vox caster, you know, it's on a pole or something, then there you go, you could do that. Or if you want to have a little bit more detail, like bricks, like that's going to be a mofo. And that's where I would use blending, and then you could even outline it a certain way. Or if you are really smart, you could even create a template and just sponge it on. Or you could use a Cricut, for example. There's a million ways to do it. You could do MDF, which is like a wooden type substance. You can cut it out, and then you can have it in the shape of a bunker. And then you could like, you know, spray paint it. I mean, if you start painting it, you're going to be there all day, man. Like, do it easy, do it the easy way. And then you can, if you want to have more detail, then you can. And there's tools for that. And if there aren't tools, then create tools, right? So let's say I have a sponge, just a regular sponge. And I want to make it look brick, right? So I'll put brown, I'll put a little bit of black, I'll put a different shade of brown, I'll put some red, I'll put a bright red, a dark red, a black, a brown, and then a light brown, and I'll kind of just all together, right? So it's just like one sponge, and then I'm just gonna lightly tap the side of it, and then you'll see those colors show up. And then if you want to, you can just take a little black and then you just go around it and you paint little, you know, so it looks like they're bricks. Done. So there's an example of what you can do. And I love the crafting side of things because there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. And there's not always really like a wrong way of doing it. There can be. I'm not saying there's not. So you always want to prime before you paint. Please, for the love of God, prime your minis before you paint them. And then WC said, it usually depends, but he does prime everything in black. Yeah, I do it in black too. I did Z priming, and I'm like, it's too advanced. I feel like if you're like one source light painting, then people utilize the Z priming for that to get that on the mini without needing the light effects. So that's another technique that you can use as well. Reneville said depends on the mini. If it has a wing or a flying platform, I keep them divided in a process setup. After model line is gone, after the mold line is gone, prime mainly black, but my Thousand Suns red prime to make the bright blends easier. That's interesting. Interesting. I did not know that. Thank you. See, or it's like if you're painting yellow, some people say if you prime it blue, the yellow actually looks better when you layer over it. So there you go. There's an example of something that normally you wouldn't really learn in a book, you know, but that's experience where someone's like, well, if you're gonna paint them blue, maybe base them in red, and then when you paint over it with the blue, it makes it pop a lot more. So there you go. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that, brother. And then WC said you can still use them, make them solid and use a bunch of cork. Yes, on the bases. That's absolutely right. That's another thing I've been seeing some pros do, or people who've been doing this for a while. They use cork and they break it up into little bits and you put it on the ground and it makes a really good texture and it glues well too. So when you glue it, you paint over it, all that good stuff. It actually looks really good. Or people use it for like lava, for example. If you want to do like lava effects, if it's a deep cork, then you can use the white to pool, like a liquid white to pool into it, and it runs throughout. And then you can use a airbrush with real precision control, let's say a 0.2, for example, and you're able to get your glowing effects by doing that. Not easy to do, but it can be done. That's something I want to learn because I'm not there yet. I'm still working on glowing effects just with brushes. So, and I need certain paints to do that. Some people can just take paints and they're able to mix them up. And I mean, if you're able to do that, like, God bless you. If you can just get acrylics, like a basic acrylics from the dollar store, and you're like, I'm going to use this to paint all my armies, and they come out good, I'm going to be like standing ovation, like you're a fucking master. Because I can't do that. I understand a little bit about color theory, but I don't know it that much. I'm sure some people do that and they don't come out really that good. But like if you want to paint orcs, for example, like you could probably get away with getting some dollar store acrylic and just painting them up and being like whatever. So, but if you take pride in what you make, or if you want to like have more detail in your minis and like, you know, you look at it past just basic assembly and basic painting and like, you know, your 3 to be tournament legal and all that. I mean, then yeah, you probably want to bump it up and spend a little bit more on your paints. They're not going to be super cheap, but you can buy a couple at a time. You don't have to buy all of them at once, but like probably like a set of 10 paints, like a good set of 10 paints. And me and WC and maybe Magnus will do like a collaboration video on like what are some like good paints that you should have. Like every mini painter should probably use these, you know what I mean? So like that would be a great video for us to collab on. Like for me, I would be like, oh, you need lead belcher, you know, you need Corvus black, You're going to need XV88, you know, for example, or like, oh, you're probably going to need corn red, you know. So there's just many examples of like some basic paints that every Warhammer hobbyist painter, depends on the army, but like if you're doing, you know, Emperor's Children, you're going to need a different color palette almost completely. But I'm just saying for like your average Space Marine player, you're going to get away with a lot of those, like McCrag Blue or not McCrag Blue. Is there McCrag Blue? Or is it Ultramarine Blue? I can't remember, but there's like certain colors that you can use. And they work really well for your army because everybody uses them. So there you go. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, people. Okay, almost got the mold lines gone here. Still working on it. Come on, you. Oof. That one just went flying. Back to comments here. Yeah, so WC back to the cork. Yep, absolutely. Prime it, and then you got terrain, 100%. Magnus said, all right, I got you. Yep. And then San Mateo Games said, Zenadil Prime also helps with contrast paints. Can pre-build shadows for the contrast to work. That makes sense too. Interesting. Yeah, so contrast paints are a lot more liquid in viscosity. So it's like a wash. It's almost like a wash, right? So a contrast paint, if you're doing speed painting or if you're doing grimdark painting, like a lot of them are going to use something that is like that. That's a good way to paint your armies fast, and they actually look pretty good when they're done. So I've heard about contrast painting, and I am very interested in it. So yeah, I guess it depends, right? So. And then I do have an airbrush, and yeah, WC said OSL is hard. Yes, it is. Yeah, because you're trying to paint with the source light on it, and like you're getting in the way of the source light, or you have to have like a headlamp on, but it changes everything. A lot of painters that I know, like actual canvas painters, they would take a picture of it, and then they would blow it up with maximum pixels, and they would paint that. So they would base it by sketching it out with like a pencil on it just to get the, you know, the shape of it, make sure it fits right. They get the right perspective. They get that it fits appropriately to the borders to make it a 1-for-1. And then they just do that. And it's phenomenal what people can do with that. So those are real artists like that. Yeah, I've met many like that. So, but like that's one way to do OSL. Because it is tough, you know, because then you'll have to have your subjects stay in one spot. You can't really, you know, if you're going to be painting your guy and you're looking at the painting, you want to make sure you're at the right angle. So maybe taking a back photo of it, a side photo of it, like it gets really complicated. You see what I'm saying? Just for one mini. So it is hard, I can imagine. And then Reneville says white. Oh, want to use white to make it glow. Yep, that's correct. Yep. I use titanium white. It's an acrylic ink, so it's very liquid, but it looks very good when you use it appropriately. And then WC says, I don't have an airbrush. Oh, man. Yeah, Magnus doesn't either. Yep. And then WC said, definitely use a red. And then he said, probably a green would be good, and then maybe even yellow. And then San Mateo says, I use Pro Acryl paints with some GW contrast paints. For weathering, I use AK Interactive products. The scale model community has so many products that gamers have finally started to use. Yes. I think we are nerding out so much more, and we're using so much more to our and it's in there, they're growing. Like before, I don't know how many paints used to be available. Like I would imagine a lot. But like even then, compared to where it is right now, the amount of paints that are used in hobbies is borderline endless. There's so many. It's an exciting time to be in the hobby just for that too, right? I mean, it could be a little overwhelming too. Like when I first got into this hobby, I literally, me and my wife, well, I think she might have been. Were you my wife at the time? Yeah. My wife at the time. We went in and
Your wife still.
I'm saying at the time when I first started my first combat patrol. She is snippy. Love you. You're so cute. See what I gotta deal with.
Just like today, he goes, "Well, you're my first wife." Shut up, Travis. Your only wife, not first wife. Don't expect.
But babe, you're my first
Don't
wife.
expect to get a second.
I don't want a
I'm
second.
not signing any divorce papers.
Well, that's good. I'm not either. So you better not be. You're about to watch me die live on stream, everybody.
Yeah, by your own fault.
By my own fault. Yeah, but there's a lot of paints you can use. And then Reneville says eyedropper for paint saves a lot of time. Yeah, they're the significantly better form factor. 100%, dude. 100%. Yep, I agree. Get these mold lines here. How are your nails going, hon?
They ended up okay.
Ended up okay? What color did you go with?
White.
A white. Oh, that's different.
What do you mean?
I just haven't seen you paint your nails all white yet.
Yes, you have.
When?
2 times ago.
2 times ago?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess she did.
You should know this. You should remember this.
Oh, okay. I know you had green, you had the burgundy red, which was, and then you had the brown. I don't remember you having white.
3 times.
3 times, okay. There you go. Okay, getting those mold lines off here. This looks like a side door, like some sort of a hatch or something. So, what is it, hon? What are you trying to clean?
My brush. My bit.
Oh, your bit?
Hold on, I think I have it.
Okay. You might need a solution to get it off. Is it melted on there? Yeah, probably. Like isopropyl alcohol probably will get it off. I think I have thick freaking mold lines. I'll tell you. All right. Oh, Magnus said I snowboarded for the first time yesterday. It was pretty fun. Oh, good for you, man.
Is he a skier?
He is a skier, yeah, but I know he bought it. He was in the Discord showing off his snowboard and all of his snowboarding gear. So,
Did he do good?
did you do good? It's a good question. How do you think you did, man? It is a fun little sport though. I have done it before. So,
Do you have a little cup or something?
a little cup or something? I mean, like a paint cup or what do you mean?
I'll use this.
Just don't ruin it. Oh, it's isopropyl?
It's acetone.
Acetone? Okay.
Hopefully it's fine.
It'll be fine. And then I would get like a toothbrush, or if you want to use a toothbrush, I have one. You can just use it. I use it on my my airbrush, so it's fine.
Right off.
Yeah, see, there you go. Just a solution will usually get that off. So. All right. And then Magnus said I did contrast regular painting for my Kriegers. Yeah, and his Krieg look awesome, by the way. Reneville said if you take a picture or you can use your airbrush to spray while at the angle on your model to create the light effect before you go over with the contrast paint. There you go. So there's another way to possibly do it. Awesome. So you can take a picture or you can use your airbrush to spray white at the angle. So you go over it. So it's like whenever you do a Z prime, a zenithal prime, usually you prime it dark and then you come at an angle. So let's say the mini's right here and you use your airbrush and you spray it at an angle coming down. And then if you want to, you could turn your mini if you want to get the back of it. Like let's say, depending on what the light source you want it to look like. But normally, like most light sources, you can come from a front or you can be like an overhead. So if you have it on a turntable, it actually looks better on the turntable because then you're using it like an overhead lighting. So there you go. Yeah, but Z priming does look really good, and I have had some luck with it. But then I started to realize that like when you're painting an all black, fucking black Legion, it doesn't really matter. You know what I mean? Like I'm not doing any blending with it. There is highlighting, I guess you could do, but most of it's just trim work. You're just doing a lot of trim, you know, and then you can do some with edge highlighting, right? So like there's your highlighting for black armor. You know, it's not gonna really look. It might look a little 2D, but you'll get better at it. And like the way I do it, I think it looks pretty darn good. And you could do a lot with terrain too. So like the base of your mini, if you want to have it pop a lot more, I could show you some. So here we go. Here are some of my guys. They're all on the bases here, right? So I got them all magnetized, which is a good idea. I'm sure many of you already do this, but if you have not magnetized your bases, is a really good idea. That way you can have it for safe transport. Like this probably doesn't look very good on my iPhone, but if you see him up close, I'm very proud of how he looks. I think he looks really good, and like you can use your base or your like, you know, use effects to give it some depth as well, and it like really catches your eye, and it definitely passes that 3-foot rule, right? So like this guy looks fucking awesome. If you look at him up close, he looks fucking great too, you know? So like I'm proud of this mini, but I have other ones too. So like this guy, this boss right here, I love this guy. Aspiring Havoc Marine champion, like I love this guy. He looks fucking sweet with the mace and everything. Just outstanding little mini. There's probably more I could do with him, but like I'm happy with him as is. And then I have my Master of Possessions. So super happy with this guy. Flames are a little challenging to do. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little, and I do have some like glowing effects on the eyes here for his little staff, his chaotic staff that he has. And then I put some like little, you know, little field grass on here. And I also added this skull. So the skull was something I got, and then I cut it and I put it on here. So, and then I already had the crack in the skull. And then, oh, here's another one I put too. So there's another one right there. I put that skull there. So that didn't come with the mini. I added that just because I'm like, it looks kind of fucking cool. Because on his base, the ones that he comes with, there's skulls there already. So I was just like, I'll just have more fucking skulls on the field because it looks cool. So you can do little stuff like that just to elevate your minis, you know. But I'm just really proud of how they look. I really am. So these are just some of the Legionaries. I have my big boys too, of course. But I'm not going to show those off right now. So I don't want to get too ADHD brain and nerd out on you guys. Magna said mostly contrast. That's right. That's right. San Mateo Games said, I've literally given away paint lines simply to limit myself. Interesting. So you're like a less is more. Yeah, there's a lot of paints, and like I don't even need all these paints. You know what I mean? Like a lot of them I am going to use, and I am smarter about purchasing them. But like I have some that I'm like, there's no point in having this. I'd probably just give it away, or like, you know, maybe I could give you guys it. Who knows if you want it. San Mateo Games also said another airbrush tip. You can use it to shade after painting too. Kind of like a reverse Citadel. Oh, that's fascinating. I have not seen that. So like you paint it and then you hold it upside down and then you spray it from underneath, for example, to get that, or maybe you have a contraption where you can like hang it upside down maybe. Like you hang the mini upside down with like fishing wire or something, and then you spray it that way. There's a million ways to do this, but like I've never thought of that. That's actually pretty smart. That's awesome. Then WC said, super cool thing with one source lighting. It's actually really easy on smaller bits. That makes sense. Yeah, when they get bigger though, it's going to be a lot more challenging, and you don't want it to make it look 2D. So you have to start blending it a lot more, and like especially if it's like a white to a red or a white to like a blue, you want to have that natural gradient. Like that for me is kind of hard to do. It's not impossible. You could do it by just watering down your paints and then having them a little bit thicker at the bottom, or just add a little bit of black in there and just stir it up and then mix it a little bit of darker shade of red, or you just get a darker shade of red, right? So that's another way. San Mateo. Oh, you got Blood Angels, dude. Oh, I would love to see those. If you're not in our Discord, please join our Discord. I would love to see some Blood Angels, dude. He said, on my Blood Angels, after red is done, before weathering, I'll spray violet ink from below the model to shade, and then I weather it. That makes sense. Yeah, so violet ink is like a dark purple, right? And that'll look really good on the red, because if you look at red in a darker setting, it'll look a little bit more purple to the human eye. So that's a great way to do that. Absolutely. And he uses the ink, which is also, yeah, inks are awesome, man. I'm really coming around to those. So I'm still using just the old school acrylic paints, but yeah, I'm going to slowly start buying more of those, because I think those are going to come in handy a lot. And then WC said without an airbrush. Yeah, so if you don't have an airbrush, it's kind of different, right? Oh, LED. Hey, Ellie. Welcome, welcome. Hey, hey. And then WC said, you still surviving? She says, what's up, WC? And then WC said, you can still have some beer and cannabis. She said, barely. Oh my gosh. WC said, how could you go through 10 liters and 40,000 pounds of pot so quickly? She said, we don't want to talk about that. WC then said, it was literally only you and 50 other people. It should have lasted you ages. She said, it's gone. Oh my God, you guys are funny. And then WC said, you had 40,000 pounds and used all of it in a week. Kit Kats, what a cool name. That says, that's cool, but you got that $11 you owe me, kind of need it. Oh my gosh. And then, yeah, you can show them off if you want, honey. Look like yogurt. Looks good. So there's her nails done. She did that. Good job. Any little accessories on there, or bling bling, or just...
No.
Yeah.
I'm going to a wedding.
That's true.
So I don't want to...
No, those look great. Very good.
This hand looks good.
Mm-hmm.
This hand...
There's a little bit of the white that came outside, but you'll get that off over time, so...
It hurts. I hurt them.
Oh.
You know what I need now?
What? Coke Zero? What? Alright, and then...
A cigarette.
Oh, you want a cigarette? Yeah. And then Warhammer Commentator said, Travis, I will show you something cool on the DC on the Discord. Ooh. And then LED said, can you get some more? She wants more. Magnus said, snowboarding yesterday was a bit odd, but I managed to migrate to the large hills and even a blue squad. Oh, interesting. A lot of falls, sprained my ring finger. Oh, shit. But I had a lot of fun. Okay. Well, yeah, be careful with that. You need your hands to paint, dude. And then not going to listen to Kit Kat's there. He's being silly. WC said, I've only got 3 Warhammers left. Oh, no. They're being used up. I'm going to have to steal Adrax's. 3? I got 4 is what Magnus said. We'll have to combine our Warhammers. LED said, we'll party all night and get drunk off our heads because we can all rest when we're dead. Rendeville said, Blood Berserker over on Mephiston Red for a quick shade and lightly dot Mephiston Red over the brighter area. Almost acting as a mid-tone before adding Evil Sons. Damn, bro. Yeah, Rendeville's he's got it down. See, that's something I wouldn't have even thought of. But like when you start painting and you use it a lot, or you learn techniques, or you discover your own, maybe you like a technique and you kind of make it your own, then there's an example for a formula that works really well for him. And if I did it, it would probably work good for me too. Excuse me. Magnus said, nice nails, Maddie.
Thanks, Magnus.
Yay. And then WC said, I'm going to have to keep taking the Space Marines hammers. Yeah. I've got 6 now, though. That's cool. And then 7, actually. San Mateo said, I'm a tool person, and I highly recommend an airbrush to anyone who can afford the setup. If you paint a lot, it will eventually pay for itself in rattle can primer savings alone, plus the speed. Yeah. I think there's a lot you can do with it. I have just a basic one I got offline, like an InoCraft one. It kind of sucks, but I do have the Iwata Eclipse. So that's my main do-it-all, well, do most of the work general purpose airbrush, and then next I want a detail airbrush, but those cost like $300. So, but I want to eventually work my way up to that because you could do some killer work with some detail airbrushes. It's amazing, especially with minis. Some of the people I follow, or like I look at their Instagrams or their feeds, man, they do amazing work. And a lot of them just use a freaking airbrush, and they just look so fucking good. It's amazing what you can do. And they have multiple different painting techniques. All right, so I got the mold lines off of all this. I'm just going to double check it real quick, make sure I got all the mold lines. And then I usually wash them just with some like basic water. I just run them in a tap just to get all the, there's a little bit more here I want to get off this. There we go. Go. A little bit more right here. So always just kind of double checking. All right, that looks pretty good. Let me just double check this side. Make sure I got all the main mold lines. Doesn't look too funky. Yeah, it looks good. All right. And I'll check this side. This one's got the open side door, so I think you could probably do an opener. Oh, I missed one. See, that's why you gotta do this. I missed 2 of them. Oh shit, 3, 4, 4 of them. I missed 4 sprue parts. Oops. I've been yapping too much. I gotta check what I'm doing here. Get these mold lines off. I see more comments coming. I'm gonna catch up. John Warhammer's the rest of the Warhammers. LED said, thank you, WC. WC said trying to beat him with it or might just be inadvisable, so I'll just try to survive with what I have. Can't fit anything else, though. Uh-oh. Magnus said if you try and fight John Warhammer, he will instantly vaporize you. And he has foresight. Oh, no. San Mateo game says, Iwata are solid. I have a few harder and Steenback ABs, absolutely love them. Really? I'm gonna have to, I just screenshot that so I can add those to the list. If you're in the Discord, I would love for you to show them off. I would like to see those. Maybe your setup just to see what it looks like, right? So we're here in my little chaotic corner, my little crafting corner, but like I got my computer over there. I got a bunch of boxes over here. I got to figure out what to do with those. I have an entire wheelie cart that I use to do all my spray painting. So there's 3 levels to it. And I have pretty much everything I need on that to do my spray painting. And then when I'm done, I just wheel it away and it's all on one. So I try to, it's like a crafting cart. I think it's originally for like drinks and stuff. But, you know, I use it for holding a lot of my crafting tools because I got so freaking many. WC said I can send some Sour Patch Kids. Sweet. At least like, oh, fine. Thank God. It's the creature comforts, man. It's the little stuff, right? It's like when you're in the military, like I was in the military, everybody would always bring like their favorite snacks with them. So no matter wherever they are, they always have fucking something, you know? And a lot of them have nicotine habits. Like I used to chew tobacco, so I would always have like 2 or 3 cans if I was going for a long period of time, or, you know, because I would go through a can in like a month. But I would have other stuff too, like my chewing gum. I just like chewing gum too. I would also have like drink mixes. So like, you know, I'd have different drink mixes just to like, if I don't want to just drink water, then I have like Gatorade powder I could put in there. I'd always bring like Slim Jims with me too. So Slim Jims were always good, but it's the little things, you know. It's really nice. Some people would have like, what are they, lemon heads, because you could suck on them. And they're really good for like long periods of time. And that's usually what a lot of guys did in the military, is they would have something to like put in their lip and then just, you know, it would be there for a while. Like a Jolly Rancher. I love Jolly Ranchers too. So I'd always have a couple of those on me, but they melted. So you had to be kind of careful with them. But, you know, it's the little things. It's like, what's that movie? Zombieland, you know? And I think his name's Dallas or whatever. Is it Dallas? I think his name's Dallas, but, you know, he always wants the hostess. He's always looking for the the hostess all the time. And eventually he finds a whole truck of them, and he's like, oh my God. It's just something good about having his Twinkies, you know? So it's just little stuff like that. It's amazing what you can do with little stuff like that. San Mateo says, I use CO2 cart cylinders for airbrushing. What? Silent, no compressor noise or heat, can use 15-pound cylinder for months. No shit. Dude, you got a whole thing going for you. That's outstanding. Yeah, I would love to see your work, man. Tallahassee, thank you, Reneville. Tallahassee. I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking Texas. I think it was something southern. It was Tallahassee. Thank you, man. From Zombieland. Yep. It's a good movie. I know it's a little bit older, but it's not like that old. Is it that old? I don't think it's that old. And there's Zombieland 2. So, but I remember when Zombieland first came out. That was a pretty big deal at the time. That was very popular when that came out, man. I remember like the rule book. Oh, it's like rule 1, like always have an escape and shit. Or, no, rule number 1 was cardio. Rule number 2 was always have an escape route or like a planned way to get out. And then number 3 was like double tap, you know? So, stuff like that. And then I thought about like what would be my zombie like rule list. You know, if it was zombies and shit. It was just kind of a fun movie, so. All right, I'm going to go wash these. I'll be right back. Yeah, it was in 2009. Oh, my gosh. It might have been 2010. Yeah, the 2 was double tap. Thank you. Always double tap. Bam, bam. Like, that would be my rule. I'm like, I don't know if that thing's dead. I'm going to make sure that fucker's dead, or at least bash its skull in. You want Coke Zero or anything, hon? Or water? Okay. All right.
I'm gonna take a shower too.
Okay, that's fine. Go for it. Rule number 1 is cardio. That's what I thought. Cardio. Hey, that's a good rule to have, man. If you don't got cardio, you're in trouble. Especially if they're running zombies, you're in big trouble. Honestly, cardio in life, it comes in handy. I've had to run to trains, run to planes. Thank God I'm like relatively in shape, so. San Mateo Game said, I only paint to a high table standard. Assembly is my favorite part of the hobby. Not a big hand painting guy. Prefer airbrush. Goes back to scale modeling. There you go. Interesting. Yeah, rule number 1, cardio. And then San Mateo Games said, I've been gluing orcs and grots to bases during the stream. Oh, that's fine. There you go. Yep, nice. Yeah, WC loves building. So let me see if I can get my laptop up and maybe show off. I'm letting those components dry over there. Let me see if I can get a laptop up to show off some of the stuff that's in the Discord, because we got some great stuff. People showing off their work in there. We got some real talent in the Discord, and that's what I want to see. That's what I like to see. Let me see if I can get my old laptop running, and then I'll turn off the lights so you guys can see everything. Come on, girl, you can do it. So I'll just turn it on. No problem. Yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan of building. I really like painting more. That's just me though. But like building is fun. I do have to admit, especially when you're making something more custom. Like I showed off earlier, one of my shorts. You know, I went with this guy with a more of a, so he's a little bit tilted. So he's kind of like in a running pose, but I had him with his claws out because that's how I wanted him to look. So I did that on purpose. Originally, he's kind of like, it just doesn't look very good. So I'm like, if this guy's got lightning claws and he's a Chaos Space Marine, like I want this guy coming at you full force with his lightning claws ready to fuck shit up. So I also put some skulls on his back for extra trophies. These are ones that I just got that were 3D printed. I bought them online in a huge deal for $3 for like a pack of like 20 of them or something like that, like various skulls and like little human body parts on chains and shit. So like I have that. Oh, here we go. I got it up. Let me just get into Discord real quick, and I'll show off what we got. What's going on outside? I'm hearing some... Oh, nothing crazy. Yeah, but this is an example of where I actually had fun building, you know? Like, I usually don't, but the way that I did it is with the sprue. If you're wondering how I did that. Here we go. Here's a good example. So the way that I did it was some of the sprues come with like these, right? Like these little bits and these like posts. So what I did was I like cut them and then I shaved them down and then I stuck it into his arm so it was like poking out, and then I shaped it to match to where it would look like he's like this. So that's how I did that, if you're wondering. And I used a lot of glue to do it, but I used sprue glue, and then I also used the Citadel just to make sure it was a good bond. And just to let you know, whenever you're using these types of glues, for them to fully cure, you want to give them hours, okay? If not, you don't paint them or prime them until the next day. So that way the glue has a good job of binding molecularly with the resin. So if you want it to be a strong hold, don't build and prime in the same day. You can, there are people that do, but just to let you know, if you want it to be more effective when you're gluing it and it stays hard longer, there you go. All right, so I am in the Discord. I am going to turn down the lights, and I'm going to show off what our awesome people have. So just one moment, because I like showing them off. It's cool. Like that. And then this one. And then I'll go back to buildings. So, all right. So I'm in a couple different servers here. So if you do have a Discord, there are other people you can follow or like befriend. Magnifica, Rhino, Nuka Regiment. So there's a whole bunch more, but mine's ChaoticCrafterZero. But it's with the number 0. So if you want to join my Discord, there you go. If you want to look it up, if you want to join the Discord, or if you want to befriend me, put your username please in the chat, and I'll be able to link up with you, and I can send you the link to log into the Discord so you could be a part of it. And then when I do another giveaway, you'll be included. So as many as I can give away, right? All right, so here we go. Hobby showcasing, so let's start there. I'm just going to go up to where we had some awesome people in here. So Neo is our newest guy. Let me turn this. Is there a way to turn it down? I might just turn it off. Yeah, I'll just turn it off. It's fine. You guys can see. So Neo's new here. Let me show off what he did, because holy shit, man. Homeboy is very talented. So there's an example right there. A really good looking chaplain. Looking kind of chaotic, if you ask me. But he does, yeah. So this is, I believe it's Nurgle. Yeah, it's Nurgle. So there's another example right there. Very well done. Maybe I should get this other light, but it's fine. You guys can see it. But it just looks fantastic, man. Just the amount of detail. And just it looks like grimdark as shit. And that's kind of how he... Oh, here's a good orc. So here's a sick fucking orc. I mean, look at that. Absolutely love it. Fantastic job, sir. Look at that. I don't even know what fucking... If that's a mech boy, I don't know who that is, but holy shit, does that look so cool. I mean, orcs are so freaking sweet, dude. You can paint them up and do so much with them. Here's Mortarion, of course. Absolutely phenomenal job, Neo. Absolutely. So here we have him in all of his fucking disgusting glory. So there's the Demon Primarch, the Demon Prince Primarch for Nurgle, and this is Mortarion. So he was a Primarch. I guess he's still a Primarch, sort of, but Not really anymore, but man, does that look so good. Even the basing with the acid and like the bubbly goo bits. And I love the little cherubs here on the side. I know that's a part of the model, but like, it's a fucking badass model, man. It looks fucking sweet. Mortarion is one stinky boy, and man, is he cool. But Neo, he does Death Guard, and he also does Orcs. What a fun. And then Magnus, he's got some Lego guy built up, so that's really cool. Totally fine. We got some snowboarding, we got some skiing stuff in here. Oh, here's another nasty. This guy looks like Jabba the Hutt, man. If you ask me, he looks like Jabba the Hutt. I don't know his exact name, but man, that's a stinky looking boy. But yeah, Neo did that. So, oh, it's called the Big Mech? Okay, thank you, San Mateo. I appreciate that, bro. Yeah, I'm not super mega familiar with all their, let me turn up the the brightness is as high as it goes, but yeah, just great work in here. What else we got? Welcome, Coom. Coom is in here. What's up, what's up? Okay, and we got some more. Here's Ren. So, just fantastic work here on the Lizard Man. Just freaking sweet. I love the color popping. It just looks fantastic. Really good job. The dark blue with the light blue. The basing looks great. It works so well with this. It really does. So very, very good job. Absolutely a different angle of him. And then let's keep going. Here's some progress from Ren for one of his 1,000 Suns. So this is a different way of doing it. Like, he's using that red, right? So I wonder what he's going to do with that red. Like, I love, also his staff looks incredible. All of it looks great. The flames look great. It almost looks like he's dripping lava. His cloak, like that turquoise blue, just looks fantastic. And even the inside of the cloak, like 1,000 Sun models are pretty fucking prime. They are pretty goated, not gonna lie. Yeah, that work on the staff with the green is very good. I love that. Very well done. Is that a stapler, or am I losing my mind? No. Okay, I'm losing my mind. I was like, how is he holding it? I thought it was a stapler. It's not. Hello. All right, continuing on the Discord. Let's see what else we got here. Ah, first mini for Neo ever. That is a really good looking mini for his first time. So, I believe that's a knob. With the knob boys. Yeah, really well done for your first one, dude. Good job. That's something to be proud of. My first mini ever was a little grot. I did a whole group of little grots. So, Croxagores, but they'd bite me. I got one. His lizard men. So there's another example right there. Sorry if the screen doesn't look super amazing, but it's the best I could do for right now. Eventually, when I get better at streaming, I'll be able to like pull this up while I'm streaming it, and you guys can see the screen while I'm doing it. So here's a snowboard that Magnus did. Freaking sweet. Here's my first mini that I ever did. So there you go. There's my first mini that I ever did. And it took me a while to figure out how to do that yellow like that. But I think I did a pretty good job. I shaded his arms. I used Nuln Oil. And it just looks really cool. I still have them too. So I'm super proud of my first mini. And then Kuhn said it looks like Trigger Happy from Skylanders. Interesting. And then Magnus on his board. Freaking ripping it up. Learning how to do it. I'm sure he's going to do just fine. So I'll even like that right now. See if it lets me. 2. There you go. 2 for you. And then commentator said the left side of the Space Marine is using a highlighting trick. The right side at the base coat is gray, and then lead belcher. So here's one of his strapped in Marines right here to the turret. Really awesome looking. I mean, look at his fucking ocular eye is literally like going into the fucking turret. That's so grimdark. It's awesome. I love that, dude. Good job. And the turret's gonna look Yeah, this is obviously still in its, like, you know, he's still, you know, working on it, but it's good right now. You could field this right now. It has 3 distinct colors. So if he wanted to put this on the tabletop and call it done, he could, but I know he's not going to. So it's going to look really cool. If you have not subscribed to him, please subscribe to Magnus. Also, please subscribe to the Warhammer Commentator, please. He does videos like me, but he paints salamanders. He does Space Marines. So, and if you have a channel that you want to plug in, you want people to subscribe to you, let me know. And I will also plug in your channel too, because I want us all to succeed. I want us all to win. I want us all to get better. And we're only going to get better by helping each other. So we're building an actual community here. And I'm really proud of that. Here's another Zangor looking demon. It could be, it looks 40K to me because it has a chain sword. So that's a Zangor if I ever saw one. But I mean, look at the green on the back of the neck. Like, that looks so good. The sword, the sword looks out freaking the beak, just everything about the Zangor. Look at even the mud on the hoof. And there's even little lines in the hoof too. So yeah, good job. And then also with the little effects here, the terrain effects look awesome. Army Painter makes those, by the way, and you could buy them. They're actually not that expensive. You just need some basing glue. I would just get the basing glue bottle from Army Painter, and it works really well. I have them too. So if you want to use that effect on any of your minis, it really makes them pop. There you go. So thank you for sharing that, Ren. That's outstanding. I like showing off people's work, right? Just show what's going on in here. Here's Magnus up on a lift. So that's a ski lift. He's way up. He's pretty high up. I would say he's pretty freaking high up. I've been up on ski lifts too. So a couple times. Yeah, that's fun. That's really fun, dude. You're going up on a pretty big hill there. More from Magnus, his Legos. Right, his clones. Love it. So that's a hobby too, guys. You know, but... And then OSL isn't impossible with the brush, but it's a lot more difficult. Yeah. So there's WC working on OSL with that las turret. Dual las cannon, I guess you could call it. But yeah, that's going to look really good. I love that mini. That's a sick mini. What's the base size on that? Do you know if that's like a 50 or... It looks pretty... It might be a 60 millimeter. It looks pretty big. So... And I'd love to see the specs on that too, to see what type of damage that thing can deal out. I could probably check its index cards, but I'm just curious. Maybe you could send me a picture of it. I just want to see the turret. All right, so light back on. Here we go. I can close this up. So thanks for checking that out with me with the Discord. If you want to join it again, just put your username in the chat, and either me or someone else will befriend you, and then we can add you to the chat or into the Discord server. So I would love to have more people in it. And all right, so back to building this big guy, right? So just an awesome looking piece. Absolutely amazing. Let me go get those. They should be dried. If not, I'll just grab a paper towel and I just kind of damp dry them and blow on them. I do have like a little blow gun too that's like used for computers. I can use that also. Some people use a hair dryer. I feel like that might melt it, but yeah, sure, you could do that too. There they are. Oh yeah, they're pretty much dry. Nice. Okay, I'm back. All right. So it looks pretty good to me. I should be able to push these to fit together now, because that's what the instructions said. I just want to make sure it's dry, especially on the inside is what I care about. The outside I don't really care as much about, but it's the inside that should be dry. Make sure it's just, you know, clean enough. It doesn't have to be like using Windex or any... Oh, I missed one, see? I missed a mold line thing right there. That's why you do this. Okay. So, yeah, I missed two. Oh, I missed two. Ay. So let me get those off real quick. That's my bad. So that's another reason to wash them and just check them again. Just make sure you got it really good. And there you go. There's an example. Maybe it was covered up with dust or something, or I just didn't notice it at the time. But never inspect. Sorry. It's an old military term. Whenever you're checking your guys' gear or you're checking their loadouts before we do something on a mission, it's always like rifle body, you know, hey, you got this, you got that. You know, what's in your pack? Do you have water? You know, PCCs, PCIs is what we call them. So pre-combat checks, pre-combat inspections. And I would always walk around and just be like, hey, tap your rifle for me, check the serial numbers, make sure they're accurate. How much ammo you got on you? Do you have your PVS-14s, your night vision? How many batteries do you have on you? So just shit like that. And that's why I always want to double check whatever you're working. And I use that in every day. So like before I do anything, I always just check myself, like phone, keys, wallet, you know. And I've had some days where sometimes I do walk out and I forget my wallet and I'm like, fuck, you know. So it happens. But at least with the PCCs, PCIs, you know, you double check your work, you mitigate the chances of that happening more frequently. So there's an old military tip for you. If you're ever finding yourself doing the same thing over and over again, maybe you need to just change something you're doing and you'll do it better. Looks good to me. All right, putting that to the side. Let me get the instructions up. Pretty sure it's just a push to fit, but all right, so it's like this, and then you take this part, and it shows, just gotta make sure you get the orientation right, which it looks right to me. It just kind of sits like that. The fuck? According to this, it just sits like that. And then you take this part and you put it over on top of it. Okay. So that looks kind of fucking weird to me. Yeah, it makes more sense to do it like this. I don't know why they're... And you just push it on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble that real quick. No big deal. Yeah, it's like a push to fit looking type thing. So there we go. There's a side of the Land Raider done. So it doesn't say to glue it, so I'm not gonna glue it just yet. I don't see any glue stuff, so why would I do that? And then next you get B3 and B5. So what I basically just did by building this, I gotta build the opposite side of the tank. So I'm gonna grab that. Here we go. So I already know what I'm clipping out, so I'm just gonna clip these. Again, you could always just double check it just to make sure. Yep, B5, there it is. And again, you always want to make sure to double check before you snip it that you're snipping the right part, because it might have an antenna. And sometimes I've done this where I clipped off the whole thing and I'm like, oh crap, I thought that was a part of the, you know, the sprue, but it's not. So there you go, right there. And let me get its other half, which is right here. So this one is B3. Yep, B3 and B5. There we go, clipping that out. Just double check it. Yep, looks good. Good. All the way down the little track things here. And if you're working on something in the chat, if you're also building something or painting something, go ahead and tell me what you're working on. If you wanna, if you're in the Discord, you can go ahead and share that. Yeah, so here's an example. You wanna be careful. Don't cut this. You wanna cut right next to it because that's a part of the actual piece. So you don't wanna clip the wrong thing. Look at the bottom here. 1, 2, 3. And I always do it flat side closest to the actual thing that you want to cut out. And it should just a little bit of oomph, and it should just pop right out. Oh, I missed one. See? Yep, I missed it. There we go. So that popped out, and then I need the little circular pit, which is right here. This one. So part of the cargo side doors or whatever. So I'll just double check the piece. Says number 2. Yep, C2, there we go. Go ahead and clip this out. Anyone got any plans for this weekend? What are y'all doing? What's everyone up to this weekend? I'm curious. It's cold here, so not too much to do. Save money, I guess. Enjoy our rent. There we go. All right, so got these all clipped out. Looks good to me. I gotta clip these things because these don't need to be in there, so these need to go bye-bye. There we go. Put those to the side. I might save these for later because sometimes these little round pieces, they actually do come in handy, so I do save those. I don't save all my sprue, but I do reuse sprue. Like if I want to make barricades for a terrain piece or like pipes, you can do it to make pipes on something. You can reuse sprue in a couple ways, so don't always just burn it. And you want to get the right type of sprue, so there's different types of sprue out there. Make sure it's the good kind. So like this is a good resin. This is the type of sprue that I'd want to use. It's moldable. It doesn't bend as easy, and it doesn't have the stress marks are not as bad. But yeah, and whenever you glue it, it glues really well together. So there you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do cleaning up the mold lines. I usually just take this and I just put it like to the side, but I know where it's at. So all right, here we go. What's everybody working on? I'm curious. You guys working on anything? Or and if you're new here, welcome to the channel. This is Travis with the ChaoticCrafterZero. So working on some 40K mini building. So I'm into miniatures. This is for wargaming purposes, and it's like a strategic game, a tactical game that you can play with other people. And you have like different armies, and you get to fight against each other on the tabletop, and it's called 40K. And there's different games as well that are in the same realm, but this is the one that I like, and I like this universe. I like the lore. I like the characters. I like the armies. So this is my go-to for my little hobby. So nice and easy. Okay, let's keep cleaning up. There we go. LED said, "Be my." Oh my gosh. The beer situation. LED's so funny. WC said unintelligible warp chanting. LED said, "Be my drinking buddy." I love drinking buddies. I'm not drinking tonight, so. But I'm there in spirit. I'm here on the screen and I'm there in spirit, so. I don't drink a whole lot, but I do like a beer every once in a while. Or I had a really good old fashioned last night. We went to a Thai restaurant. So good, dude. It was a Thai old fashioned with bullet bourbon. Fuck, dude. That was a really good drink. I would order that again. The thing was $16 fucking though. But it tasted like $16. I just had the one. I wanted a refill, but I was like, nah, it's too expensive. I can't justify it. They gave me a deal on it. If it was like a 5 o'clock deal, or you know what I mean, like happy hour, then fuck yeah, I'd get that. If it was like a half price drink, oh my god, I'd buy 2 just to start and drink them both slow. WC, you also got to pray to the Omnissiah. He's like, very well, unintelligible. Tech priest moaning 1101100110011001100. LED said, "When will it be here?" Magnus said, "Soon." WC said, "Okay." LED said, "Okay." And then WC said, "I gotta go check the cargo hold." Oh, gotta go check the cargo hold. Make sure it's good. Make sure everything's coming with. I don't know. It might be too heavy. I don't know. I don't know if everything will fit in there. All right. Double check the mold lines. That looks kind of funky. Okay, that looks better. That's a little bit of a bump right there. I'm going to shave that down some more just because I can see it. There we go. That's a lot better. Okay. Oh, I missed one. Got it. Double check the wheels. They look okay. That looks good to me. All right, next. This one's got a lot more mold lines on it, so I got to take my time with this one. I might just swap the blade. I think the blade's starting to get a little dull. I'll be damned. Usually you like them a little dull, but not like too dull when you have to like really put some oomph into it, because then you have a mistake of like shearing too deep into it. So like a little dull is okay, but if it's like super dull and it's not shaving it anymore, yeah, it's probably time to get a new blade on there. And I just buy them in packs, so I trust X-Acto and X-Acto only. That's just me. Fiskars is okay too. But you could just get like a cheap hobby knife if you really want to, but I just trust these tools because I've used X-Acto a lot before, and I've used Fiskars a lot, and they're usually pretty decent tools. So everybody probably has their own, you know, like what's your favorite hobby tool, or do you just use the one that Games Workshop gives you? You know, like the little their little curved hobby tool for getting the mold lines off, so you could get those. Sometimes they give them to you in like a battle box if you're lucky, or like a starter box. Most people have to buy them separate, so I don't think it looks like a bad little hobby tool. So I'd probably use it. I don't have it, but it's like, you know, you just gotta make sure it stays sharp. That's the only problem. So like this one's got like a little titanium tip on it, so it's supposed to stay sharp longer and it won't break, so it doesn't like fly off into your fucking eye, because that would fucking suck. Go. And always be careful when you're using tools, right? If they're sharp. Like I've stabbed myself fucking multiple times. It's gonna happen, guys. If you're new to this hobby and you haven't bled on anything or stabbed yourself or anything like that, you're probably not trying hard enough. So I've done it a couple times. Or I gotta like push something and I slice right into my finger. I'm like, ow, fucking bitch. But you know, bleed on it, some good blood for the blood god, and you'll be fine. Yeah, there you go. Blood for the blood god. Absolutely. Use that on the minis every time. Just bleed on purpose. Blood for the blood god. Hell yeah. Anybody got any good jokes? Who's got some good jokes? It's been a minute. Go. Come on. Oh, this one's a little... This mold line is not very good. So if you ever get something where the mold line looks like shit, so like this one just... You probably can't tell, but it's a little divoted in. You can just use Tamiya and go over it, and it'll smooth out the surface. So you could also use like a very light, fine grit sandpaper, and that can also work the trick too. So if you're trying to smooth it down, do not use coarse sandpaper on this, or else you're gonna be fucking your shit up. So nice and fine. Probably like what, 300 and up maybe? Hard to say. But LED said, I'm confused. It's okay to be confused, Ellie. And then WC said, Slanesh and the entire graded demon population will make for a great time. Yes, indeed. And then Mag said the 4 million, 4 million liters of beer was worth the chaos corruption. That's right, yeah. Slanesh has definitely entered the chat. She's like, oh, you're drinking to excess? Let's go. Yeah, if I were to ever pray to any of the fucking dark gods, it'd probably be Tzeentch. And then after that, it would probably be Slanesh. And then I guess Khorne, and then last would be Nurgle. I don't want Nurgle's rot. Nope. Don't care. Don't care. If you're a Space Marine, and I mean, being beholden to some of the powers usually makes sense, right? Like if you're a Chaos Space Marine or you're a fucking Chaos Legionary, like a lot of them usually, like Chaos Undivided's really good, but there's a lot of problems with that too. Or a Renegade Space Marine's always fucking sweet. Like if I could be a Renegade Space Marine, I wouldn't mind that. I just don't want to go through the process of becoming a fucking Space Marine. Oof. Yikes. How many of you think you would make it through the Astartes program? You think you'd make it to be a Space Marine? I don't think I would. I'm pretty strong. I got some strong will. I made it through the Marine Corps, but I don't know. That's like some other level shit. It's all the doing organ implants on you while you're still awake with no pain meds is like fucking insane to me. They're just like, all right, we're just gonna go ahead and crack open your rib cage while you're still alive. You know, you'll probably pass out from fucking shock if anything. They'll keep you alive, but yeah, you're gonna feel every bit of it until you pass out. You know. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever be a Space Marine. Yeah. Probably die. Be an aspirant if I'm lucky. It'd be pretty badass to be a Space Marine, though. And then, Reneville said, got to have more than 117 Spartan John to make it. Yeah, dude, yeah. Yeah, to make it. Yeah, you're gonna be a pretty fucking badass. And Magnus said my ego said I would definitely make it to the end of the Astartes program. Ooh, that's cool. WC said I wouldn't even make it past the first step. Yeah, dude. Oh my god. Oh, that's great. Magnus just said, Travis, you gained 2 subscribers since the last time I checked. Excellent. Thank you, everybody. Whoever subscribed to me. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers. Helps me out a lot. Thumbs up on the video. Also, other people you can follow is Magnus Mags, along with the Warhammer commentator. He's got great stuff too. So if you want to follow other channels, help other people like me that are just building it from the ground up, doing it the old-fashioned way, you're going to help us out. We're going to help each other. So I'm sure everybody who's in here is subscribed to it already, but it says 5 people are in here. You never know. There could be someone lurking in the background. So, but all right. So we're looking good. Let me just double check my work, and I'm going to go wash these off. Just like I did before, and then I'm going to actually speed it up a little bit, and I'm going to bust out the next components to start building those rather than waiting for these to dry. This one here needs to be a little bit better. Gosh, that does not look good. I'm going to add some sprue glue on this because the mold line, when I removed it, it just shaved too much down because it's just like a little pocket of, I don't know what they did here, but I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Just layer it on top. And that'll dry relatively quick, so. Maggie, high fives. Yay. And Magnus said, and a fist bump. All right, all right, all right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Back to it, shaving down these mold lines. Oh, I missed another one. So, yep, that's a, oh, it just went flying. Like a little nib part that attaches to the sprue line. There we go. Okay, make sure I got everything off here. I don't want to touch that little glue bit there. That I'll let it dry on its own before I wash it, but I can wash the other components. It doesn't take long. It dries pretty quick. It's only if it's curing, right? So if you're like putting it on there to like glue together to something, then yeah, you don't want it to get wet. because that'll fucking ruin it. But if you're just putting it on there just for something simple like this, it's not a big deal. So let's blow that off. Blow that, and let me check this one again. Oh, good. Almost good. Just shave this down a little bit more. All right, there too. Yep, happy with that. All right, so go wash these two, and I'll be right back. All right, let those dry. Do. WC said, just gotta retrieve the beer and avoid the preoccupied. Oh no, greater demons in Slanesh. Oh shit. Yikes. Just gotta avoid them. Tiptoe around the greater demons. Jesus Christ. I love that. LED said, I don't know what that means, but yes. And then Magnus said, WC, what do you think is distracting the demons? And then WC said, I don't know, I kind of don't want to say. Mateo Merci said his hair is the exact color of bronze. I have never seen that before. Well, thank you, Mateo Messi. Appreciate it, dude. Subscribe, please. And the bronze hair. All right, what demon is next in the skinning circle? Yes, yes, indeed. Oh, boy. I was reading a book about the Night Lords in the Omnibus, and it's when Talos and his squad, they get to an old planet that used to be their, like, backup to, you know, their home world before, you know, when it got destroyed. They had also a backup location that they went to, and that's actually where Conrad Kurz was assassinated. So when they did the Horus Heresy, they left into the Eye of Terror, all that good shit. When they come back, Talos is like, all right, guys, we're going to reclaim some worlds starting with our own. And they're like, well, fucking our homeworld got destroyed, so what are you talking about? And he's like, well, we're going to go to this homeworld. I can't remember the name of it. I could probably get the book and tell you in 2 seconds. But anyway, they go to this homeworld, and they find out while they're doing the recon that it's full of, like, humans. So a lower grade, like, it looks like a big fleet went there of humans to colonize it. And it looks like it was just kind of left. Like, no one was supporting them. They were basically running through their own resources. They're already falling apart as it is. So they're, like, barely any, like, they don't have much of a defense at all. And anyway, so the Night Lords, of course, land and just start killing them mercilessly. Just to remind you that the Night Lords are the bad guys. I remember one where there's a Night Lord, and he's, like, about to kill this old blind man. And this old blind man was blind because he lived on the planet for so long, and after a while, when you're staring at the sun or if you're patrolling a lot, you kind of lose your vision. So he was like an old guardsman, kind of. Like a planetary defense force, right? It's like a PDF trooper. But he could sense when things were happening, or he, like, even though he didn't have his blind, like, he couldn't see, he could still feel and hear things around him, and he felt like this giant presence, and he's like, what the fuck? So he knew, and he could hear the sound of the power armor, like, radiating. It was like, it's like a whine. So if you're ever near a Space Marine, you're gonna fucking know it, because their power armor is very loud. Anyway, it's chaos in the streets, and this old man like gets caught going down an alleyway, and this guy's like, "Shall I kill you now, or shall I throw you into the flaying pits? I don't know, and let them take care of you." And I was like, "The flaying pits? What the fuck?" So yeah, the Night Lords would literally have designated spots throughout the city where people get thrown into the pits, and there's Night Lords in there skinning them while they're alive. So, like, en masse. And just taking their skin and just flapping it somewhere. Or throwing it over their shoulder and being like, "Ah, there's another one, there's another one." Like, yeah, that's pretty fucking hardcore. That is grimdark. That is evil. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. So, you just kind of reminded me of that. And WC said, "Just do it before the greater demons notice you." Yeah. Oh, LED said, "Okay, we got it." And WC said, "Quick, get out of here." Aw. And avoided the demons. Aw, shit, they noticed. Oh, no. I'm gonna have to use one of my Warhammers. Just run, guys. Hide in the walls. Yes. LED said, "It's your fault." Magnus said, "Nuh-uh." LED said, "Yeah." WC said, "Just quick, just hide. Get out of there. Argue later." LED said, "I am in the walls." And then Magnus said, "They're gone. Let's go get a beer." Oh my god. Yeah, Magnus. Yeah, it was called a flame pit. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, it's a Night Lord paradise. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Fucking crazy, man. I saw that in the book and I was like, the what? They have a name for it? Ooh. Ooh. There was, I think the population was 300,000 humans on that planet, by the way. So, yikes. And I'm pretty sure there were like 150 Astartes, like Night Lords. So it was like 150 Night Lords versus 300,000 humans. Terrified humans, but they're willing to fight. But yeah, they're pretty much powerless. Yikes. And when Talos was telling his brothers, they thought it was a cursed world, by the way. They didn't want to go to it. So he had to sell them on going to this world to make it their new world, to like retake it over. He had to convince his other space marines on why they should do it. And a lot of them were like, that place is cursed because that's where Conrad Kurz got assassinated, right? Their Primarch. And Talos was like, I want you all to imagine 300,000 of the Imperium's finest just ready for the picking, you know, and then they were all like, that's a lot of humans. So, of course, the Night Lords are going to be like, well, it sounds like a good time. Let's go do it. So that's how he convinced them. It took a little bit of hemming and hawing, but eventually they were like, all right, let's go take the world over, and we're going to do it our way. Yikes. Basically, Talos just let him go free, said, do whatever you want to do, kill as many humans as you do, whatever your sick little hearts desire. And they were all like, this sounds great. And then eventually some space marines show up and they have to fight them off, and yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a crazy book. It is a crazy fucking book. All right. Next we're cutting out B1 and B6. This is the underneath of the hull. So, let's see, like, which piece is this again? B1? Yep, there it is, B1. Let's go! Oh, this thing's big. Oh, that's what she said. Clip, 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 clip. Yeah, this tank's not too bad now that I think about it. I thought it was going to be a lot more difficult with these tracks, but no, they don't look half bad. You only have to do half the tracks, which is kind of nice. And then I need B6, which I think is for... Where the fuck is 6? Is it here? Oh, here it is, B6. This part right here. This looks like some sort of a ventilation or exhaust fumes, like where the exhaust goes for the Rhino. Oh, and it's got a little like hinge on it, so it must open like a flap and close. So that's good. That's good. Put that to the side, and let's clean up these mold lines. Back to the chat. Those 50 people you used to have with you are cooked. Yes, they are. LED said, did you get it? Magus said, yeah. Ellie said, yay. Message retracted. WC said, here's the thing. I can't teleport you off with the beer or the demons will follow. Oh, no. Oh, no. And then Magnus said, dude, I'd just take myself out if someone mentioned the flame pit. Like, bro, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably, I'd give myself the Emperor's Mercy, if you know what I mean. Yeah. You do not want to, There's some Space Marines, like Chaos Space Marines, that you would rather just die than be captured alive with them. For sure. At least the good thing about if it's Khorne, they're just going to probably kill you right away. You know, they're not going to really keep you around unless if you're like a good prize and you could like do well on the gladiatorial bear, like, you know, something like that. But most of them, they're like, either you join us or you fucking die. But if you're like Slanesh, and let's say the Emperor's children kidnap you, oh boy, you're not going to be killed right away. You're going to be subject to a lot of horrific torture. You're probably going to be deaf in no time because they like to blast music all the time. Or just like screams of demons and the warp. Like they just love that. To them, that's like music, you know? So if it sounds like fucking hell, they want that. Put it on the loudest loudspeaker and blast it in your ear, basically. And then they're probably going to rape you and do untellable, fucking horrible, sadistic, sexual, deviant things to you. So, yeah, you don't want to be captured by them. If you get captured by the Death Guard, they might just keep you around and honestly get you just to, like, fucking spread plagues, you know? They're probably going to want to convert you. And then they can use you to spread the plague and grandfather and his gifts. So Death Guard wouldn't be the worst. It's just you're going to end up being probably basically dead, but a walking corpse. But they'll probably use you for something. Tzeentch would, I don't know, they might just kill you or they might use you for some fucking spell. You know, they're going to need like 1,000,000 fucking human sacrifice to bring a fucking greater demon of change or something, or they're going to use you as a slave or who knows what, or they might just use the components of your body like your bones and your blood to make potions and shit. So yeah Night Lords, yeah, you better hope that they tell you can be a menial. If you're lucky, you'll be a fucking slave on their ship, if you're lucky. That's the big if. Else it's gonna be a bad time for you, man. They're gonna they love pain and they're all about scaring you and drinking in your essence of your fear. So they're kind of like Dark Eldar in a way, but Dark Eldar are worse, which is crazy. But yeah, I'm surprised the Dark Eldar don't look at the Night Lords and they're like, eh, good job, you guys got it going on. Very similar, very similar. All right, almost done with the bottom here. Make sure I get all these mold lines real good. There we go. And WC said you got to drink it all before leaving. We will, DW. We will, we got this. LED said chug. And WC said 44 million liters. Holy shit. Magnus said light work. LED said I'm done. Magnus said same. And LED said we got more. I can't walk. I'll drag you, Magnus said. WC said I still have enough power to teleport you two away somewhere safe. Oh, thank God. Oh my gosh, you guys are funny. WC said, where do you want to go? Ooh, that's a good question. Where do you want to go? Oh, we go to Cadia. All right. Cadia. What's left of it? Oh, McCrag. Yeah, McCrag's a good idea. Yeah, McCragg's a good idea. I'd go to McCragg. You're probably safer there than anywhere. You could go to Terra, but... Send me to a pleasure planet. Somewhere far away from the Tyranids and the Necrons, preferably. And Orcs. That'd be great. Somewhere I could just chill out. It's got oceans and beaches. And it's protected by the salamanders. Oh, God. Or the space wolves. If they got your back, you're pretty good, too, so... For McCragg. Go. Getting these mold lines off. Go. Hard mold line right there. More here. It's kind of like angled. Interesting. There we go. Might have cut it a little deep. Oopsie poopsies. That's fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, a little deep there. Shit. This one looks okay. Flatten that out a little bit. Okay, done. Double check the mold lines on this guy. This one. Okay. Alright, this one's ready to wash. And then I'm going to use the other one that I also cleaned up. I put the glue on it just to make it flat, which, yeah, it kind of helped a little bit. So, smoothed it out a little bit. I'm going to wash all three of these. I'll be right back. And then the other two components should be almost dry by now. Go, coming back. I already see where I missed a part. Dang it. I always double check it. Even if you double check it, you still, yeah, I missed a part right here. Dang it. Thought I got it off earlier and I didn't. Everything else should be shaved off, though. I'll just double check all of it. Triple check it, technically. This is a triple check. So that's gone. Looks good. That one's done. Check this guy. So just triple check real quick. Make sure I got all the little nibs. Use my nails to get that off. Looks good. Looks good. Yep, this one's ready to go. Just gotta dry it up a little bit, but she's getting there. Okay. WC said, if you're going to Cadia, is it before or after it exploded? Then Magnus said, shut up, it never blew up. WC said, the Great Rift would like to tell you otherwise. Yeah. Magnus said, okay, we're going to McCragg, actually. LED said, I am confused. Magnus said, McCragg equals good. Very good. Yes, you want to go to McCragg. WC said, very well. I wish you good fortune and glory to Ultramar. LED said, KK. Magnus said, or we could possibly go to Krieg before the Civil War because it was pretty much a paradise planet. Yeah. Yeah, before the Civil War and nuclear radiation. And go there like 1,000 years before any of that. You should be fine. Yeah, go to Krieg like 1,000 years before they went Civil War and nuked the whole planet. Probably a good idea. And then WC said, Travis, these two sacrificed 1,000 Space Marines, 1,000 Space Wolves for the beer. Oh my God, you two. 1,000 Space Wolves for the beer. Oh no. Oh, I think the Space Wolves might understand. They like drinking too, but holy shit, that's a lot. Magnus said courage and honor. WC said courage and honor, brother and lady brother. LED said, huh? And then WC said, your choice of who is who. Magnus said, what? LED said, what? And Magnus said, we're going to Krieg before the Civil War. And then WC said, Krieg? Oh, very well then. And then Magnus said, yeah. And then WC said, I'll send you 40 minutes before the war starts. Goodbye. Oh no, you already landed there, guys. Uh-oh, you just landed on Krieg. Oh no, 40 minutes before the fucking Civil War starts, guys. It's not looking good. Uh-oh, you gotta get out of there. Magnus said, Travis, give WC a big fuck you because we're about to go thrown into a civil war. Oh no. LED said, I'm too drunk to do that. Yeah, you're about to be in a civil war. You have 40 minutes to get ready, y'all. Get your shit together while you can. Oh no. It's so funny. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. And it looks like I need the other components to put this thing together. But I need B7 and C1. So let me get those out. This looks like the top where the little cupolas are up here. So the little turrets that can turn. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those out. You know, the Land Raider, or the Rhino still looks pretty small. But, oh well. As long as the detail looks better. What's up, honey? I see you over there. You're being cute. It's fine. There is actually, by the way, if y'all didn't know this, Games Workshop is coming out with, I don't know if it's already out, but they're doing like a D&D style of 40K. Like a separate gaming system. I would play that. So it sounds like fun to me. I'm not a huge D&D-er, but like that sounds like fun. Especially if you know the lore and everything. That sounds like a lot of fun. And I need B7, which is like the back here. So it's got like a little number pad and everything so you get inside of the vehicle. So I'm going to go ahead and clip this out. It's a tiny little hatch. If this is supposed to hold Space Marines, I don't know how the hell they're going to fit in this thing. I could see humans fitting in here, but Space Marines? Maybe through the side doors. And there's B7, which B7 needs to be glued.
You're already on your third Sub-Zero.
Sorry. It takes a lot for me to do this. Alright. That's good. So I clipped those out. Let me go ahead and start cleaning these up. Thank you, Maddie.
You're welcome.
WC said, you've got 40 minutes, you'll be fine, trust. Magnus said, just shoot and say for the Emperor. All right, Ellie, just start shooting everywhere. Just say, for the Emperor. So you guys are joining Colonel Yurton then. So you're gonna be on the I guess the good side of things, but you're in for.
You know you have parts over here, right?
Yeah, they're just drying. That's fine. Little components to the Rhino.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Yes. Yes, darling. All right. Yeah, so basically the whole Civil War of Krieg is like Colonel Yurton, a couple good PDF, and like guardsmen against the planetary governor and basically most of the population. Very outnumbered, by the way, because they all wanted to secede from Terra, from man. Basically, they wanted to secede. I think it was in. I'm trying to remember what years it was. What was it, like M32 or something, or maybe a little bit later than that. But yeah, I mean, if there's a good time to betray the Imperium, it would probably be during the Horus Heresy. So you don't want to do it after, because then they're really going to be looking for reasons to fuck you up. But
It wouldn't be during the Horus Heresy.
it wouldn't be?
No.
Why not?
Because the Horus Heresy is when they do the other thing.
That makes sense to me. That's when they do the other thing. That's what Maddie said. So you don't want to do heresy during the heresy. You want to do heresy before or after, or before might be decent too, because mankind, well, no, they might send the Night Lords after you, never mind. You don't want to do that. Maybe after the heresy, just a little bit, just a little bit. And you better hope you're really far away where no one's coming to check on you. The Inquisition, for example. So, yikes. Yeah, you don't want them fuckers coming. But a lot of the human civilized worlds that bent the knee to the Imperium didn't really always like what happened afterwards. So it's like in Dune, you know? It's like the Emperor Leto shows up and, well, his entourage shows up and they basically decree that, you know, House... oh, what house is it? Well, anyway, like, you have to go to Arrakis. You know, like, you're decreed to go to Arrakis. They're already on their homeworld. They've been there forever. And they're like, you need me to do a whole population migration and, like, all these military things to get there to basically try to get the world under governance, basically. So, like, yeah, it's a pretty shit job. And they ended up being betrayed anyway, so. Magnus said, what is the game called? WC said Dark Water Trust. Reneville said, isn't that a Rogue Trader game? And then Magnus said, yeah, it's at my local hobby store. Oh, Neo's in here. What's up, Neo? Hey, hey.
Tell Neo to put his...
Oh, yeah. Neo, if you want your book, my man, I do need your address. If you could please direct message me that. Magnus, too. Again, it doesn't matter where you're at. Even if it's international, I'll pay for it. It's coming to you. So, yeah, WC said you missed a lot of action, dude. And just checking up on him, seeing what he's up to. He said, yeah, I finally just got to relaxing and found Travis's streaming. Oh, okay. Well, thanks for joining, brother. I appreciate you being here. Awesome. And then Maggie and Ellie drank 4 million liters of beer. Horace Hennessy, Neo said, LOL. That's even better, dude. And avoided like 1,000 greater demons of Slanesh. Yeah, that would be... which is after the aforementioned beer was summoned. Yeah, it's a lot of excess. And Slanesh was like, huh, that sounds like fun. And just birthed a couple thousand fucking greater demons onto our battle barge, but our battle barge got overrun, so they had to teleport out of there. Magnus said she's drunk as fuck. Yeah, and now they've landed in, by accident, well, I guess they got teleported to Krieg, but 40 minutes before the Civil War, so now they have to figure out how to get the hell off there. So they gotta figure it out. LED said, my name is Captain Yarface. Awesome. Oh, Reneville said, hint, the house starts with the letter A. Yeah, Atreides. House Atreides. Thank you. Gumsunny, thank you. Yep, House Atreides. That's right. And then WC said, anyway, it's getting late, guys. What? Late? You gotta work? You probably have your designated time for you to go to bed, so I don't want to ruin your night either. And then Neo said, you got it, I'll DM you. Okay, yes, please. Thank you, sir. Yep. And direct message me on Discord. And then WC, I'll see all you later. All right, WC, thank you. Much love, bro. Always thank you for stopping by. So much fun. Take care. Yeah, so I'm just, Neo, I'm working on building a Rhino, dude. So, building the big doohickey. The Deimos pattern Rhino transporter. So, okay. Neo, I did get your address, and I will need your zip code. Yes, please. Thank you. Again, nothing nefarious. It's just gifting you something. So, and no, I will not share your information with anybody. And if I can, no, I'm not sharing it with anybody. She doesn't even know it. So, but they will be shipped out on Monday for you guys. All right. You're welcome, Neo. No problem, brother. So thank you for being a good subscriber. Thank you for being on the Discord. This is the least I can do for y'all. So, and I want to do more giveaways in the future. So, the bigger the channel gets, the more I'll be doing like giveaways and stuff like that. Magnus said, Travis, I'm going to send you my info real quick. Okay, brother. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And I got these books. So, again, just a shipping label, but, you know, this one's going out to our boy Warhammer Commentator. So he already bounced off, but this is going to him. So he got the book. I have it shipped, boxed up very nicely, so it's not going to get ruined. So it's the least I can do for you guys. And I'm not collecting your information for anything nefarious, no. So, all right. No. All right. I know I'm not going to send you random stuff. I'm going to tell you. So if I'm like, hey, you guys will see that out in the mail. If I'm sending you something, maybe I'll send you a letter or stickers. Or, 'cause I want to make my own stickers too, so. I want to have stickers to give you with the book. That'd be even cooler. So let's see if we can do that. All right, got that built. Let me go ahead and wash these two pieces I just did, and then the other one should be dried up. These are going to take a while for them to dry. I'm going to leave them over here. Oops. See if these other ones are dried up yet. Sort of. Still a little wet. But it's alright, I got some paper towels so I can use those to dry these off a little bit faster. Alright. Thank you, Neo. And then Magnus said, wait, your home address? Yeah, or your work address. I mean, wherever you're physically able to pick it up, I could do that. I'm just going to put your name as your handle. So if you have like a Discord, whatever your handle is, or if you have a YouTube. So like I literally sent it to the Warhammer Commentator. But, you know, that's his address, so he'll get that. So, yep, that's what y'all gonna need. And then Neo said, Travis, if you want to send me free models, then go ahead. All right. I will be in the future, so.
Free what?
Free models.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yep. So if this channel gets bigger, like when I get to 300 subscribers, which would be awesome, I will be giving out stuff. 400 subscribers, I'll give out stuff. 500's the big one. So if I get 500 subscribers, I'll give away something big. So, but at least every little milestone, I can give little stuff away, you know what I mean? So I'm giving you guys books, for example. That's the least I could do. I wish I could do more. If I was a millionaire, I'd send you guys way more. I'd send you fucking boxes of stuff, you know? I'd give you a free freaking kit. Like, hey, you want 1,000 Suns? Here you go, you know? So if I ever do make money in this, yeah, I'll be very generous. I am not a greedy person. Okay, so I need to do the tracks already? Wow, it wants me to do the tracks already. We're going right into it. And then Magnus said the greed is consuming you, brother. Talking to Neo. Yeah. You guys are funny. Okay, Magnus, I got your address. Thank you, sir. Yep. I'll ship it off on Monday, so that's the plan. I'm just going to wait for all 3 of the addresses, which I have them now. Good to know, Neo. Thank you for that. So I'll put that on your packaging as your name, and you'll get that. So no problem. And then Magnus, oh, that's an interesting zip code. What is that, longitude and shit? Like, what is that? Is that Canadian? That must be Canadian. I mean, if I enter it into the system, I'm sure it'll just populate. So, no big deal. You will get it, though, man. No problem. I don't know how long it'll take, but I'm going to ship it off on Monday. So, hey, it's a free book. Can't turn those down, right? So, I'm going to clip these out. All the little tracks, because it wants me to do all the tracks here. So, it looks like just the one side, though, which is kind of nice. So I'll just clip this out. There we go. And I need, it's a lot. B22, B18. So here's B18. Okay. Okay, here's B22. Yeah, here's the tracks. So this is what I was kind of dreading, is the tracks. So I got that, and then, so I have B18, B22. I already got B20, right? I got B20, I think I got B20. Thought I got B20. Oh, no, I did not. B20. You know, I'm going to wait on clipping those because those have to go in specific locations. So I'm going to wait before I clip those out because the orientation will matter. So I got B22, B18, and B21. Check. And then according to this, it's going to be on the right-hand side of the tank, which is... How does this look? So it's flipped. Oh, so I need to do the other side. Okay. So the other side, this goes on the right side of the tank. Okay. All right. Orientation can matter. Oh, it's just the Canadian zip code? Okay. Thank you, Magnus. Yep. Neo says, I condemn you to read the entire Horus Heresy series. Uh-oh. Bum, 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 bum. Oh, boy, Ellie. You gotta read the whole Horus Heresy series. Holy shit. I condemn you. I've heard mixed ratings about all... Yeah, I'm not reading all that. I'll read a couple of them. There are some good ones in there, absolutely, so... I've heard a lot of mixed reviews, so... I read Fulgrim. I love Fulgrim. I think that's the only Horus Heresy book I ever read. Because Storm of Iron's not. Night Lord's Omnibus is after... Yeah, I've only read Fulgrim. That's the only Horus Heresy book I ever read. But I do have the first book in the series, which is, I think, the first Heresy. I have it. I can't remember the name of it. I haven't read it yet, obviously, but that's with Word Bearers. So it talks about good old boy Erebus. We all fucking hate Erebus, but yeah. Erebus is in it, and yeah. So I gotta read that. I think that's an important book to understand how it all kind of started. Even though I have a gist of the idea, but I still want to read the story for myself because I don't want to just believe the memes or just listen to other YouTubers if they haven't read it, you know? Because it's like, where are they getting their information from? Probably from the wiki, but, you know. I want to read it for myself. That way I understand the lore, too, a little bit better, a little bit more detail. Because you can, if you listen to a channel, especially when you've been on the lore for a while, if you listen to a channel and you hear them talking about the lore, sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes I can listen to it and I can go, this person really doesn't know what they're talking about. Or this is AI, And this is all fucking wrong. Like, sometimes those AI stories are wrong. So, I mean, a lot with AI is fucking wrong, first of all. I hate AI, personally. But, yeah. It's coming, brothers and sisters. It is unfortunately coming. AI is going to be here, and it's going to be an interesting next 20 years of our life. And the older we get, the harder it's going to be able to distinguish the real from the fake. I don't know what that's going to look like. Something bad's going to happen. Probably with the financial markets, too. Just wait for that shit. Healthcare. I think AI can do good in healthcare, so it has a place there. Okay. Almost dry. This one looks good. Let me check this thing. Oh, Ellie's going good night. Okay, good night, Ellie. Bye. Oh, and Neo said I took my CPR and first aid, but I need to retake them to be safe. Yeah, since it's been a little while. Magnus said your AI slop bores me. Yes, it does. LED said night. Love y'all as friends. And Maggie, I love you as a drinking buddy. Yay. Bye, Ellie. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. Come on. I'm trying to get all the damn water out of this thing. I think that's pretty good. Oh, no, there's some more right here. Shit. Let me dry this off. I will be calling it too here, gentlemen. So. And Neo said, that's a shame. Yeah, well, because he got CPR and first aid, so I become a ski patroller. It didn't get accepted, though. But that's such, so they made you redo it, dude? That's bullshit. That sucks. Okay. This. And let me slide this thing on here. No, not like that. Like this. Yeah, it's like that. And then this on here. Like that. Okay. It says not to glue it, which is weird. You think you should glue it. Or what does B7 mean? Hold up here. Oh, I see. It's optional to subassembly that. Okay. So if you want to paint the inside of your rhinos, holy shit. Okay. I'm just looking over this to see what else I got going on here. So I'm just checking how much longer I got. Things get a little complicated when you get to the turrets, but not too bad with the war gear options. Yeah, this will look really good when it's done. I'm excited. Alright. So I'm good to start gluing some of these components together. I see. Just go ahead and... Okay. Let me just double check to make sure it doesn't say, like, do not glue. Everything here looks pretty good. Okay. Yeah, I don't see any do not glue, so yeah, I'm good to glue. Here we go. Citadel. Plastic glue, very, very good, by the way. I do trust it. So I'm just gonna glue this onto here. Hello. And then Neo said, Neo said also, Travis, send me the tracking number when you ship out the book. Yeah, no problem. I can do that for all three of you guys. Yeah, I'll do that. No problem. I can send you the tracking so you guys can check it and make sure it's come in and all that. Hopefully it gets to you. I really hope it gets to you. It should. So if it doesn't, I'm sorry. But I want it to get to you, ideally. So as long as everything works.
All I'm concerned about is
The Canadian one, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's the only one that, yeah. Because the one going to Pennsylvania, no problem. And then Neo, where you're located at, shouldn't be a big deal. All right, I'm going to go ahead and glue this on here. So just a moment. My concentration, make sure I do it right. Go. Oop. Oh, that was the wrong spot. I just put glue on. Oopsie poopsies. It happens. All right, good enough. Okay, and then I'll just go ahead and push it on there. Yeah. And the inside of the Rhino, it does have some detail, not a whole lot. So this is the inside of it. So there's like a little bench right here where they can sit down. It does have, oh, the other components over here. Here's this that goes inside. This is like a bay door to access the driving position of the Rhino. So here's this. It also has on the inside, there's like this grate right here. So like this goes inside. And that's it. So, but it does have a flap. So if you want the door to come down and up, you can. So the Rhino does have that. So it's free swinging. There's not a whole lot of detail inside, but I do see some people who paint the Rhinos on the inside or they sub-assembly it and it looks fucking cool. They do a really, really good job. And then there's a lot that just say, just seal up the door on the back. Who cares what's inside? It doesn't matter. So, you know, it's like, it's up to you if you want to do it. I kind of want to do it, but I don't know how much longer it's going to take me to do it, though, if I sub-assembly it. So I could at least prime it and do some, like, basic stuff. It might look really cool. Some people go way above and beyond on the inside. And they really make it look so good on the inside of the Rhino. So, I mean, this has pretty good detail. Like, little, like, punch pads, and it's got little lighting. And then on the inside of the Rhino, there's not too much going on. I wish there was more going on the inside of it, but for what it is, I'd say it's pretty basic. So, but all right, let me go ahead and glue this one together. Let me just make sure it's the right orientation here. Yeah, that's right. Yep, okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue these together. Don't hold your breath. Whew. Makes me nervous. Let me see how it attaches here. Oh, okay, I see. That's a lot of attachment points, holy shit. So it kind of sits. Okay, I'm gonna do it on this side. So I'm gonna glue all of it here. So it's always good to like dry fit it and see how it looks. So right here, 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 around this thing, this little nib part thing. Where else? This nub thing, and then this nub thing, and then anywhere else? Right here. And it looks like that should be it, question mark? Make sure all the attachment, oh, right here. right there. And then anything else that attaches together. Just making sure I got it all, guys. Sorry. Oh, right here. That's an attachment point. And then, oh, right here. Attachment point. Oh, fucking right here. Okay, and then on the outside of this thing a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and attach this together. Ooh, boy. Ooh, doggy. Here we go. Shit gives me anxiety. All right, there we go. Pressing it together and hold. It's like a sandwich. And then Neo said he's in SoCal. Okay, good to go, bro. Awesome. And then Neo said I want to paint a Death Guard Plague Burst catapult at some point. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's the crawler. You're correct. It's all good. It does a catapulting job because it's a indirect firing system. So it's like a little artillery launcher. Yeah, those things are pretty cool. I gotta say, Death Guard have a very great catalog of minis. Death Guard might be probably the most well built out Chaos army. So many options that you guys have. It's great. Y'all get the hookup. Yeah, indirect fire. Yep. Oh, Magnus said he didn't know what SoCal means. It's okay. Yeah, he's from Canada, so it's like we call it like NorCal, North California, Southern California. There you go. Yep. Or if they say they're from the Panhandle, you know, like, oh, I'm from the Panhandle, and you're like, where the fuck is that? You know. So we have like terms for certain things. Or if you're like, I'm in the Peach State, that's Georgia, for example. So sometimes we have like little nicknames for stuff. SoCal, NorCal. SoCal's where you want to go, though. NorCal's really nice, too, but SoCal's like San Diego, and it's really beautiful there. Yeah. They might as well split it up, honestly, dude. It's such a big... I know it's not bigger than Alaska, but like Texas is big, and so is California. So, yeah. I mean, they might as well split it up, honestly. Just because California, for one governor to be in charge of that whole fucking thing, it's impossible. It's literally impossible. It's one of the most populated... I think it's probably one of the most populated states in the U.S. It's got to be up there. It has to be. It's like probably New York... no, California's got to be number one. It's got to be. It's like California, New York, and then probably like... Part of me wants to say Chicago, but I don't know. And then Phoenix is growing huge too, yeah. And then Magnus said, how big is the population of California? And yeah, 40 million, that's probably about right. And then... Reneville said Phoenix's other name is hell when it's summertime. I thought that was Missouri. That's funny, dude. Yeah, Magnus said, damn, the population is 41 million. Yeah. Yeah, it's big, man. A lot of people in there. It's huge. And there's a lot of people who leave California, too. So there's a lot of people going and coming and going all the time. So it's such a... interesting state. I had family out there. I don't have family out there anymore, so they all moved to Florida. They all got the fuck out of there.
You have family in Minnesota.
Now they're in Gator Country. So, yeah, I got family in Minnesota.
It's me.
My wife and me. That's it. So.
And our bunnies.
And our bunnies, yes, honey.
And our bunnies.
That's right. Magnus said we're a big but tiny country. Yes, indeed. Reneville said 34 million. We have 354 million across the nation. Yeah. I remember we were like 300 million. That's crazy. Neo said, yeah, I couldn't imagine being in Arizona. It's way too hot. I prefer the cold since I've grown up in nothing but warm temperature. Yeah, cold is nice. Warm is nice too, don't get me wrong, but there's something about the snow that it's kind of nice sometimes. All right, so this got glued together. Now I'm going to glue this other one together. And then I might just have that as a stopping point, everybody. So, FYI to you. Not that I don't want to be with you guys, but it's just I got to turn in for bed. So we're trying to keep to a, you know, I can't be up till like 3 in the morning anymore. So I shouldn't be. I really shouldn't, because it'll throw me off for the rest of the week. And I have been staying up late. It's been kind of hard to sleep lately, but I should, you know, I'd be more productive during my days. I shouldn't be too much of a night owl anymore, so. All right, and then I'm debating, I think I'll sleep on it and think on if I want to sub-assembly the inside or not. So what do you guys think I should do? Should I sub-assembly it or nah? Should I just close it up, call it a day? Save my time for something else? What do you guys think? There we go. Let that dry. Yeah, your Cali people have invaded my state, Prenival said. Neo said grew up in the Philippines. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's cool, Neo. Interesting. And then Magnus said second largest nation in the world with such a small population that the majority lives 100 kilometers within the California-U.S. border. Interesting. And then Neo says, I want to move up to Washington or Oregon. Nice. I've heard good things about Washington. Oregon too, but not like Portland. If you're on the outside of it. But probably Washington. I would probably go to Washington, dude. That's where I'd go. I know buddy's one friend who moved out of California, went to Idaho, and he said it's probably the best move he ever made. So he does a lot of snowboarding. That's his thing. And he said it's like paradise up there. Because not many people go to Idaho. Like, no one talks about Idaho. It's kind of under the radar. So, at least for now. Not for much longer. It'll probably turn into a Utah, and then it'll turn into a Nevada. You know, like Nevada got blown up with all the people moving out of the big cities and going elsewhere. But getting land in Idaho is probably not a bad idea. I wouldn't mind it if I had more money. All right, I'm going to glue this on here. And then again, I'm sorry, guys. I will be calling it for a night because Travis is kind of tired. So I should be going to bed, but it's been a good stream. Go, let's dry up. Okay. This is all free of any. Okay, yeah, it's ready. All right, here we go. Okay. Make sure I get all the attachment points here. Sorry if I'm being quiet. I'm just trying to concentrate and not fuck up. Okay. I think that's it. I'll just do this for... I shouldn't need any for that. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and press this on here. Oh boy. Is that right? Where's the other way? I'm going to do it this way. Go, pressing it together and hold like a sandwich. Almost kind of looks like a harmonica. Magnus said, by the way, I said CA as in Canada. Okay, all right. I understand. Yeah, when I go to ship it, I'll make sure. Yeah, because you have a country, like a literal country. Kind of funny. Okay. Holding that together. Magnus said the last stream lasted for over 4.5 hours. I know, man. But I got a lot of subscribers from that. And I got the most amount of views, well, the second most amount of views I ever have for a live. So I got like 365 views for a live. Like, that's pretty good. That's including pre and post watch. So people also watched it after I posted it. How many of them watched all the way to the end? There's analytics I could probably check to see that. So. And then Neo said, I want to paint a Rogel Dorn or any tank at some point. Yes. And then he wants to chaosify it. Yes, you can. I got a Rogel Dorn. It's down there, not opened yet, but that'll be something I do with my Krieg. I'm gonna Krieg it out, so put like barbed wire on it and shit like that, sandbags. It's gonna look awesome. Yeah, Magnus, you gotta. Oh, if you got a guard army, it's time to get a tank. Yeah. So the Rogel Dorn or the Rogel Dorn Commander, very good. Very good. Probably some of the best you can get. And then if you can get a Basilisk, get a fucking Basilisk too, bro. I got a Basilisk also. So you're going to want that for artillery because it can literally hit anywhere on the tabletop. The range is like insane. It's insane. So I want to get 2 of them personally. They're not that expensive. It's just hard to find them. That's the problem. So FYI. They're really not too... I think I got mine for like 65 bucks. I got it off eBay. But it's like the new one. There's an old one and a newer printed one. You want the newer printed one. Better detail, better resin. I think it was redone in 2018 or something. What's that, Maddie?
How many views I have?
944? Oh, that's great.
Intubation.
Oh, wow. On your video. So she's doing TikToks right now. So if you guys want...
It's on Insta.
Oh, that's Insta? Oh, okay. Yeah, and then GW doesn't make a Trader Guard faction. Now I know. They might eventually. So they'll probably do Dark Mechanicum before they do Trader Guard. There are Trader Guard in Chaos armies. Oh, sorry. Where the heck is this? Hold on, let me find the blue bottle cap. That thing always disappears, I swear. Where did I put that thing? Oh boy, hopefully it didn't fall on the ground. Sometimes it has a tendency to do that. Where'd that go? Shit. Hold on. Heck? Oh boy. I'm losing my mind. Where the heck did that cap go? For the glue. Else I got tape. Shit. I didn't pocket it. I wouldn't do that. Let me move the table. Hold on, guys. Heck is it? That's not good. Did I put it over here for some reason? No. Oh, here it is. Found it. Hiding in plain sight. It was behind something. Okay, there we go. I'm going to cap that up. Okay, so I'm going to let these two cure overnight. So you want to give them plenty of time to glue. So I'm just gonna give these their appropriate times, and then I might just do the inside. I don't know. Might look kind of cool to do the inside of it, but we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? But either way. They had a kill team for Trader Guardsman. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, Magnus is going to hop off too. Yeah, it's top of the morning. Yeah, time to go to bed, brother. Magnus had just made a 10-man box for Trader Guard. Oh, okay. Oh, so they didn't do like a kill team, but... Magnus said, damn, I'm not listening to Warhammer news. Yeah, you can follow them. I can't even keep up with them, dude. They're doing new stuff all the time, so it's super exciting. That's what's good about GW. They're always doing something now. Their rotation is a lot faster. It's kind of nice, actually, for once, because for many years it was very slow. Yeah, the leader character in the Chaos Ogre. I want that Chaos Ogre so bad, man. Yeah, that thing's freaking sick, Neo. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that box is kind of hard to come by, but it's got like the Trader Guardsman leader, and then it's got a Chaos Ogre, which is badass. Yeah, they do look good, agreed. And then Magnus says, did the Trader Guard leader come in a separate box? Yes, it does. Yes. Yeah, the Chaos Ogre looks freaking dope. Yeah. I don't know why they don't have him in other boxes. So, oh, it's in stock too. For online orders, so there you go. Yeah. Sometimes it's a little hard to find that box, but if you're able to find it and it's in stock, there you go. There you go. And then Neo said, anyway, I'm gonna head to club bed with DJ Pillow soon. Awesome, dude. I love the way you said that. That's funny. Yeah, I'm about to call it a night too, everybody. So we're at 186 minutes and 32 seconds. We got 3 people still in here, and I appreciate everybody staying with us. It was a really good night. It's always good talking to everybody, hearing from everybody, and interacting with you guys. I got 8 likes, so if you haven't already liked, please do. And if you're watching this video in post, if you like what you're hearing, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe and like. Also, check out the Warhammer Commentator and Magnus Mags. They also have YouTube channels, so please support them as well. If you'd like to join the Discord, you know, just friend me or try to add yourself onto the server. It's ChaoticCrafterZero, but it's the number 0. So that's our server. But with that being said, and everyone do an @ on your Discord. Okay, good to go, good to go. Yep. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate everybody here coming in. And as always, I wish you well. I don't know when I'm going to go live again. It might be next Wednesday. So, yeah, probably next Wednesday, Magnus. Unless if I feel kind of froggy on Monday or something, then maybe I'll go live on Monday. But I'll give you a heads up. I usually post it in the Discord under announcements. Did I say on Friday?
You'll be gone on Friday.
Oh, yeah, next Friday we'll be gone. Yeah, we won't be here next Friday. We're going to be at another wedding. So next weekend I'll be gone. So probably, maybe I'll go live on Monday, and then maybe I'll go live on Wednesday. So we'll see. But Wednesday for sure. That's usually when I do it. So middle of the week, just to catch up and talk with y'all, see how everything's going. And then I usually like to do one on the weekend, but considering we have a wedding and we won't be back to when? What, Sunday or Monday?
We'll be back Sunday.
Sunday? Okay. Now we're going down to Missouri. So one of her good friends from college is getting married. So, but that's all I got, everybody. Thank you again for tuning in, watching another episode live stream with me, the ChaoticCrafterZero, as I'm building this Legion Deimos pattern Rhino. You'll see more of these maybe in some shorts and stuff if you want to follow along, or I'll probably post it in the Discord as well. But that's all I got. Thank you very much for stopping by. I wish you the very best. And until next time. Yep. All right, Magnus. Thanks. Have a good night. Bye, everybody. Till the next time, I'll see you. All right. Bye.